right, let's do a cheers to the Sobeys and Safeway Liquid Beer podcast.
We ride again.
I love you guys.
Careful, that cake's hot.
Check-in, come on, let's go. It's the AM Nasty Big Hello.
It's about to start AM radio.
It's the Cool Bed Red Hot Nielson Show. Let's go. Everybody tune in, even my wife.
Mommy likes too.
And those Macramalla intros are cutting like a knife. Hey, it's Mitch texting in, he's your dealer for life. Let's crack at 6 o'clock, I'm logging with some sirloin bites.
.03 on the Nielson Show. Good morning, everybody. What's going on? Welcome to another full day of sports talk right here on EST. It's the Nielson Show to get you started, followed by the Hangout, followed by the Lock Shop, followed by the Oil Stream, followed by EST Afternoons, followed by the Reed Wilkins Show, followed by Oilers preseason pre and post tonight. It's game day. GCL Diesel. A little pre-game tonight. No post-game tonight.
Well, it's
Game's
preseason.
not on TV, but I think the boys will have a pre and post for the final preseason game. What a lineup. What a lineup we've got here at EST. Tell your friends. Very easy to listen to. Tune in. iHeart, EdmontonSportsTalk.com. You can watch on YouTube as well. And boy, maybe one day we'll be lucky enough that a radio station simulcasts us on their own station, you know?
Wouldn't that be the snake eating the tail?
I'm sorry. I just got to get this off. I'm just going to rip this Band-Aid off right now.
Yeah.
As a guy who came up in this industry in radio, there's nothing that pisses me off more than simulcasting television to radio. It's lazy. It's cheap. You have to be better. I say this.
You got a little rental from Park Mazda.
I'm driving a loaner. Park Mazda was doing some work on the truck. Gave me a loaner. I was driving it. I couldn't figure out how to switch it off. It was stuck on 630 Ched, and I'm listening to global television on the way in today on 630 Ched. I mean, and I know it's been doing that for years, but I never listened. But I'm listening. I'm like, man, this is so lazy. It drives me nuts. It like makes me sad. It makes me, well, you know, it makes me sad, but it also, you know, for what we're building here, it kind of makes me happy because everything's going to die anyway. But it still makes me sad that the media is just taking that lazy of route now. It drives me insane. Drives me insane. Somebody's got to hold these guys to a better standard. It just, drives me nuts. So anyway, that's how I started the show today. I'm fired up right now. I am fired up right now.
Well, and the preseason continues, right? That alone.
Well, and everybody's like the Habs and Sens. I think last night they're taking cheap shots at each other just because they were forced to continue to play preseason hockey. You know what I mean? Like, what a nasty game last night.
The old 2-for-1 job with Arbor Zekash, eh? Like, I mean, that's...
whole Wi-Fi there. It's just, I mean... Anyway, we'll get to that. We'll discuss preseason with Noodles. We'll discuss preseason with Wyshynski. We do have a jam-packed show today. If you are listening on TuneIn or iHeart or at EdmontonSportsTalk.com, feel free to text us if you need a conch today. Rob the Plumber's in and says, good morning, fellas. Can I get a conch for my wife and I for celebrating our 20th wedding anniversary? Have a great show. 20 years. Congratulations, Rob. If you're watching over on YouTube today, hammer the thumbs up for us. Sub to the channel if you haven't already. The Edmonton Oilers regular season begins in exactly 1 week. You too, Trev. Are you ready for the Oilers regular season to begin?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, you
I
are.
think so. I'm looking forward to it. Last year, it was awesome. Like it was so much fun being able to learn from Tommy and whatnot. But it'll be a change. This year I won't be doing not nearly as much pre and post.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have Nanzo doing that. And he said every now and then I might call on you. But it'll be nice to just crack open a 6 o'clock lager and just sit back and just watch a game.
I knew you were going to enjoy sitting there. Yeah. Fan out.
So and that's the thing. Like I had to put my my bias aside sometimes last year, but I'm a fan again. I'm going to be watching and I'm going to be cheering so much this year. So I'm looking forward to that. And here's hoping they can go on another long run. But I can't wait. It's going to be awesome. And then even just tuning in I love doing that. That's what I did back home. Some people might not like this, but I always tune into Pat Steinberg. I loved hearing what Flames fans had to say.
Steinberg would go forever.
He would. And so I love tuning into pre and post, and now I'm going to do it with the boys I work with. So it's going to be pretty cool.
It'll be pretty good. We are a week away from the Oilers regular season getting underway. You heard Trev mention the 6 o'clocker lager there. Nothing goes better with a hockey game than a 6 o'clocker lager, courtesy of our great partners over at Alley Cat. The geniuses behind the 6 o'clocker lager. They'll bring you everything from Skona Gold to Apricot, Mandalorian, Main Squeeze, everything in between. I can't keep up with these guys. With the amount of beers, they just keep dropping. It's a busy, busy place. Check them out, www.alleycat.com, or visit the tap room at 9929 60th Avenue. All right, Nielson Show is brought to you by South Fort Chevrolet. Marshall brought out all of his Nerf guns for me yesterday.
Oh, great.
He's like, Daddy, which ones would you like to take? He's got like.
Did he lay him out on the bed with like a casing and just kind of like?
Well, at one point, like at 6:45 last night, I'm sitting on the couch, and he's just put all 4 of them in my arms.
Oh,
he goes, "Here you go, Daddy." He's got the Nerf. I think it's the Sure Shot line, and they are pretty cool. I have to say, like Nerf guns compared to like when we were kids are so much better now.
Up the game a bit, yeah.
It's
the
amazing
technology, right?
Oh, I can't wait to get to South Fort Chev and just start shooting people right in the head. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Probably 3D print a few if you wanted to.
Yeah, well, my wife tells me last night, she goes, before you go to South Fort Chev on Friday, you should probably stop by somewhere else and load up on new bullets. Because I don't want you to take all of Marshall's and lose them. And I was like, hey, that's a fair point. That's a fair point. So, yes, I'm going to be making Marshall goes, Daddy, you just go to Walmart, and in the kids section, they're right by the wall, and you can buy hundreds of them. I was like, thank you, son.
Don't even ID.
No, it's gonna be a lot of fun. Join us out at South Fort Chev. They've added a few other things. This is gonna be great. I mean, we're having a whole Oktoberfest day out there this Friday. Make plans to join us. Fort Sask AAA U17 team will be on site helping with a little barbecue that we're gonna have fired up. Plus slap shot radar booth.
Oh.
Yeah, so you can swing on by.
Test your might.
Maybe trade in a vehicle, get an extra $1,000 credit because you tell them you listen to us. And then while you're there, test your clapper and see how hard you can shoot a puck.
Be a preseason Draisaitl, hey?
Oh, God. It's going to be amazing. Boys and Girls Club of Fort Sask will be on site, accepting donations for youth sports programming as well. They're also in need of school snacks for kids partake in their program. So if you have any school snacks, going to drop something off for a good cause, or you've got any sort of donations that you'd like to make for the youth sports program with the Boys and Girls Club of Fort Sask, they're going to be there as well. They've also got German pretzels scheduled for an afternoon, plus great sales and discounts throughout the day. This is a real nice day. This is the closest we'll ever be to European vacation.
Well,
that's all I can think of.
Wouldn't sell us short just yet, Well,
okay, I mean,
flyaways in the future, right?
Maybe.
A little preseason action.
Anyway, EST on location all day Friday from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. with the Oktoberfest celebration at South Fort Chevrolet. Food, drinks, giveaways, exclusive sales. Drive a little, save a lot. Go see Daniel and his family-friendly team at South Fort Chev. They will beat any price you can find on any other vehicle. Check them out, www.southfortchev.com. We have a jam-packed show today. Macramalla Angels are already flying in. We'll get to a few of those. The Nasty Chat is hopping pretty good as well. We'll get into that a little bit as we work our way through the show today. But let's dive into what we got coming down the pipe here. We got the morning announcements coming up. We talk some Major League Baseball playoffs. We talk some NHL injuries. Devontae Adams. The Raiders are willing to listen. You know he ends up on the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, that's just how it always works. Like, anyway, we'll get.
It's funny seeing the Commanders logo in the list mentioned now. Like they're back. Like they're up there now.
I mean,
among the
my Jaden Daniels fantasy stocks would certainly be okay with Devontae Adams.
That'd be
That being said, my Terry McLaurin fantasy stocks are like, no, like a hangout chair when Tommy Gazzola sits down in his short shorts.
or Fergie.
Or Fergie yesterday.
What a show.
Ah, Fergie, what a beauty. That's good. Coming up around 6:30, the Fan Zone. We'll get into that around 6:45 today. Heavy text segment. I want your thoughts on how long do you give Draisaitl, Skinner, and Arvidsson before it clicks? Or do you go, well, it's not working. Got to mix it up.
Yeah. And McDavid asking for more preseason reps. I mean, everybody wants to do away with the preseason. He wants more.
Enough.
More.
Look, he's a hockey robot sent from the future to change life for all current Oilers fans. It's that simple. Jamie McLennan makes his triumphant return to the Nielsen Show today, just after 7 o'clock. We will spin the online Wheel of Destiny. That's coming up. Key word for the EST flyaway to LA presented by 780. You get that around 7:25-ish. Free advice for local slumlord Damon Bunting. That's going to happen at 7:30. He's extended his deal with us onto the Reed Wilkins Show. Bunting's an absolute beauty.
Advice as well?
Great guy. Free advice today.
No,
I think it's a buying or selling segment.
Wouldn't mind
on the
doing
Reed
advice,
Wilkins Show. Yeah. Eric Macramalla will be by. Lots of Macramalla intros already flying in here as well. I'm trying to save as many as I can that we can get to as we work our way through. Here we go. This is a good one. EST legal analyst and guy who's still weighing his legal options following his Estes snub. EST legal analyst and guy who likes to go for naked walks in the woods. Only problem is he defines the bushes next to the golf course as woods.
It's that Bigfoot video, eh?
Yeah. That's a pretty good one. This is a good one too. Tommy Rubella, ESC legal analyst and guy who always says, I bet you can run super fast in those every time he sees one of his staff in new shoes. Ooh, I bet you can run super fast in those. Actually, they're high heels, Eric. Anyway, Macramalla is going to join us. You'll want to talk some playoff baseball for sure. Kind of easy trivia for Mr. Mike's. 3 questions too many for Park Mazda. That hurts for James H. Brown. Greg Wyshynski will be by just after 8:30 today. Lieutenant Eric's weekly rankings of power coming down the pipe in hour number 3. And, of course, the wrap for William Huff. You can text us anytime. The Paris Jewelers inbox. Family owned and operated. 22 locations in 4 provinces across the country. Flexible payment options, including do not pay for 1 year. And of course, you can shop in store or online at www.parisjewelers.com. And one of your text messages today will win the A&W text of the day. It's your favorite team burger, your favorite Ruffles, cheddar, and sour cream chips combined into one unique taste. I don't think either of these will ever stand alone very well on their own ever again. I think it's a match made in heaven. Probably have to ride it out now.
You should just do away with these separate camps. Combine the companies, right? Just absorb each other and live together under one roof. It'd be cheaper.
Would A&W absorb? I'm assuming A&W absorbs Ruffles.
Yeah, I've always said Ruffles Cadillac of the chip game, but A&W, especially up here in Canada, I think the Canadian division would be absorbed.
I'm sure it'll happen.
Yeah.
This is how these things happen, right? It starts with a collab and then it goes to a hostile takeover. And I'm sure that's going to happen.
Oh, you've been watching that McMahon documentary? It's got that written all over it.
You know what? I turned on the McMahon documentary last night. I was doing some work, and I watched like 6 minutes of it, and then I just was like, I'd rather watch a Star Trek movie that's on Netflix now.
Hey.
So I put that on and worked. I don't know.
You're not a big wrestling guy,
I'm not a big wrestling guy.
By trade, right? Like
I'm somewhat intrigued by it. I turned to Hulk Hogan was talking, and I was just like,
yeah.
Vince McMahon looks funny now. It's just like, he creeps me out.
He's all bloated and inflamed.
He creeps me up his face. This just in, I think he got some work done.
Well,
I don't know, man. Yeah. I'll probably give it another go here at some point, but
I watched episode 1 yesterday.
Okay, you watched the whole thing?
Decent. And I used to be wrestling, not anymore, so it's kind of middle of the pack, but
I was listening to
Gage was talking all about it. Hernan pipes in too, so I was like, well, I
had to check it out.
Yeah. Well,
Mark Majo's in on the Hangout today. I was listening to Majo and Corey's podcast, MCTV podcast, which you can hear here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Majo's already watched all 6 episodes. I think Corey watched 4.
Yeah.
So I'll get back around to it. But McMahon does creep me out. Like his face now.
Well,
his face just like, I don't understand why people
should
are
read the
so
reports.
obsessed with getting work done on their face. Have you ever seen anybody get work done and you're like, oh, it looks good? Anytime anybody gets work done, you look at him, you're like, oh man, it looks ridiculous. What have you done? I don't get it. I mean, I don't understand it for the life of me, but whatever. I mean, what are you going to do? You can't win them all, I guess. All right, let's get into update on the audio issues that I was having yesterday.
Yeah.
So I updated Adobe. Seems to be working. Probably still a little bit of a delay. Don't know if I have the morning announcement music. But then that program, remember that program I was all excited about
the
last week?
Matumbo and everything, and kind of
I do have it. So this is a nice little program, and I think I have it working today. Trev was here yesterday while I figured it out. In order to have this program connects to the Bluetooth, which goes into this board, which then goes over there and then comes out, I have to have the Bluetooth connected first. Then when I open up this program, it connects properly to the Bluetooth. Trev, it was quite the scene yesterday. A couple of guys just figuring something out, you know?
Process of elimination, Dustin
Pretty much.
said.
That's what I
he
said.
figured it out. I was actually quite impressed. Didn't need Maddie's help at all. He did it all by himself.
That's really one of the best ways to figure stuff out. Process of elimination.
It is, yeah.
Really. Anyway, let's get in your morning announcements. All right, morning announcements brought to you by 100.3 The Bear, Edmonton's best rock, Jess Jackson. She's wonderful every day on your way home. And, of course, Yukon and McCord every single morning on your way into work on 100.3 The Bear, Edmonton's best rock. NHL injuries. Celebrini last night. See what? And I don't know if he got injured again in the game or he
came back for a shift and then
after he went into the boards heavily.
Yeah.
So he's kind of in all alone. Didn't really sort of just look like he caught an edge,
yeah,
and then went into the end board. So I mean, and then the Ottawa Montreal game last night.
Talk about wrestling.
I mean, it looked like that series back in the day between the Sens and the Habs. Cass was involved. Remember, who was it? Almost killed Lars Eller. Lars Eller was it was a gong show. Anyway, Sens and Habs already hate each other in the preseason. I think it's probably because they're both so frustrated knowing that they don't have a shot at the playoffs, either of them. Like, you're just like, God, what are we even doing here? We got 82 regular season games we have to play and then sit back and watch the Leafs lose in the first round. Like, it sucks. But injuries, even if they cut it down to, let's say, and Pierre LeBrun last night tweeted
84.
84 regular season, 4 preseason. So you're taking 1 home hit as like an organization. You're hoping you make more money from a regular season game than the preseason game that you would be losing on this schedule. But even in the 4 games, guys are still going to get hurt. Like, that's just what's going to happen.
Yeah. I think sometimes we even talk about the regular season schedule, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, there have been times when people have complained about the 82, I do believe. But we discussed yesterday internally here.
It's too much. They want the money.
Yeah.
They want the money. I mean, it's just preseason injuries are going to happen. You basically just have to, like tonight, watch the Oilers game with, what's the saying, bated breath.
Well, as McDavid has said, he'd like to play. He'll be 5 out of the 8, and he wants to play the remainder, which I get near the end. You kind of want to get up to speed, but
I mean, as long
bated breath, you're right.
We're going to sit here tomorrow and talk about the blue line and, Stetcher looks better than Brown, and why is Brown still in the top 6 on the blue line and Stetcher's not? Like, we'll get into all of that tomorrow. But you just keep your fingers crossed that tomorrow morning we're not coming in and being like, oh, man.
Absolutely.
Nuge went into the boards awkwardly and he hurt his shoulder and he's out till February. Like, just sit down, cross your fingers, and hope your team comes through the preseason healthy. That's really all you can ask for. If you can do that, mission accomplished in the preseason. You have to view it that way.
Well, certainly a leg up to start the regular season, especially when a lot of teams and players are kind of dropping like flies. It'd give you a bit of a mental, psychological boost as well, getting through those 8 games unscathed. Don't have to worry about Ben Gleason getting injured tonight, though.
No, Ben Gleason sent down. We're going to get to that a little bit more with That Hurts coming up.
It does hurt.
What do you think Ben Gleason has to do in a preseason to eventually be on an opening night roster? I mean, the Oilers' blue line is not that strong. Still couldn't make the top 8 this year. And I liked what he looked.
See him again, though. Hey, like this isn't a goodbye.
The Oilers' blue line, it would be remarkable if they stay as healthy this year as they did last year.
Right.
I'm assuming you'll get some preseason Benny games, and everybody will be excited, and then we'll see, preseason is different than regular season. Oh, maybe he is supposed to be down in the American. Like, we'll see how it gets sorted out when it's all said and done. But I don't know. I thought he always shows well, and it doesn't matter. It's just like, well, see you later, man.
Especially with the group that he's around right now, you think that
if you were ever going to steal a spot, even if it was just the number 7 spot, it probably would have been this year. But it doesn't look like that'll be the case. We're going to get to Major League Baseball playoffs. We had a nice little parlay that hit yesterday. The boys are hot in the lock shop. Huss was on the Mets.
You gotta tell me he was on the Royals too, eh?
Well, he was on the Royals.
Of course, yeah.
Individually,
just
not in
like
the parlay.
Chiefs, eh? Like,
oh yeah, I know. He texted yesterday. He goes, "The Royals do it again." I was like, "This guy." So, think about Huss's teams. The Royals win the playoff game yesterday.
1-0.
The Bombers have won 7 in a row. The Chiefs haven't lost since Christmas Day last year.
But again, how the Chiefs are winning, right? The Bombers in a weak Western Division season. Royals 1-0. Like they're all up there.
It's kind of funny,
man. This much.
It's a little funny. I mean, this guy, he just ride with Huss. He's just like yesterday, he goes, it's been a good week. My account's tripled in size. It's like, I hit this. And then last night.
We're going to 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
He's just a shopping spree.
He's got all the Mountain Dews.
Yeah.
We had Padres -1.5 last night, combined with the Mets till we just win. So that was a nice little parlay hit last night. So hopefully you're riding with us. If you miss it, Lock Shop every single day from 11 to 12. We're just rolling in it. You're going to want to be there for that. Devontae Adams. I think I saw a list. I think it was OnRight. Let me see. I think OnRight tweeted something last night about
where does a nice graphic, hey?
Yeah, where does he always whoever does their graphics on the OnRight show? Lots of
maybe that Jesse Pollock character.
Yeah, I don't think so, but where is it here? Oh man, he tweets more than I tweet.
I saw Commanders, then I passed out, and then the list was gone.
I don't know where it is.
Here it is.
On there. Okay, give it to me. Isn't it like 9 teams? It's
I'm seeing a 6-team.
Okay, give me a 16
with a nice
list.
graphic.
Give me the 16.
You got your
list.
Chiefs, as you mentioned. You got the Bills, which is interesting. Jets, Bucks.
Why are the Bucks? They got Mike Evans and Chris Godwin.
Yeah,
they don't
really
need Devontae Adams.
one.
They shouldn't even be on there. Bad pick.
Vikings.
To ride shotgun. I know Addison had 2 touchdowns last week, but
and your Washington Commanders. So that's the 6 out of the potential 9 that again we kind of said we saw. And I swear there was a 9 too.
It comes up Chiefs. This is what always happens. Like Devontae Adams, I know it's the Raiders. It's in division. Will they do that? Does seem kind of crazy, but it doesn't matter.
Well, the Raiders.
The Chiefs will find a way to get this done. This is what happens. It's like these guys will pop up and it'll be like, this would make sense here. This would make sense here. Boy, the Commanders could really use him to ride shotgun alongside Terry McLaurin, Jaden Daniels. Can you ask for much more? And this is like, Patrick Mahomes got him somehow.
Couple other lists: Ravens, Steelers, Cowboys, as well as Seattle Rams and Niners.
That's half the league. We just listed off half the league.
Well, they're all competitive.
Yeah. All they want is a second round pick.
Half of those you could just not even whatever. But
I think he'll get traded. I think Amari Cooper will get traded at some point.
You got to, right?
I think both those guys might end up getting moved. If you want to chime in on it, 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. That'll get you into the Paris Jewelers inbox today. We got, that's good. We got the Fan Zone coming up as well. Dex is in and says, hey, I made another fantasy trade. I'm completely off of Miami now. A-Chain and Olave for Gibbs. I traded Olave. I'm still starting Neighbors, Reed, and Collins at wide receiver with Smith and Thomas on the bench. So, yeah, you were definitely fine trading Olave in that
turn off the lights when you leave Miami there. You know, like that type of
It's tough to have any ownership in Miami Dolphins
you
players
have to,
right now.
Clean up before you go. And
I thought maybe A-Chain would be the one guy that could kind of hold true, but it has not been the case so far. Mishi's in. Says, boys, where and who do you get your best NHL fantasy rankings from? Look, man, this is gonna sting a lot of people, but I really don't play fantasy hockey. I've got the Juan Rincon Hockey League, in which we draft our guys at the beginning of the year, and we make trades and stuff, but there's no like waiver wire.
The Wandering
There's
Cone
no like hits category. But I don't do week to week fantasy hockey. I can't get into it. I never have. Now, for just straight up old school hockey pools, I do have a draft, I guess, this Friday. with Haji and Hawk. It's gonna be a fun one. That's the only other one I do, and we sort of just draft it and leave it throughout the year.
And you like
see how
hockey
it
and
goes.
Hawk, and
I like hockey drafts, but I'm not setting a lineup all the time in hockey. I can't bring myself to that. Trev, do you play fantasy hockey in that fashion, like week to week and head to head and hits and penalty minutes?
Yep.
And you do, hey?
Yep. This will be the first year though, and I think 7 or 8 years since I graduated high school that I don't know. All my fellas we're kind of thinking the same thing. Like we've had the same league for 8 years now, I guess, and we've just kind of it lost its spark, and it does, and that's what it is. It loses its spark for me. It's like the draft is so much fun. For the first month, I'm so invested, but then right after that, I'm like, oh,
you miss
gosh.
a couple lineups.
Yeah, and then I'm done, and then I'm like, okay, this is a long season, like, and then I just get frustrated, and then I'm losing to teams I shouldn't be losing to. So I know Zach and we were talking about maybe having a team. We're going to bring it up to Maddie and see if we can get one with the Nasty, something like that, if there's anyone that's interested. But
the Discord has a couple of things going on.
Yeah.
Zach will be in 5.
You think
I
so?
bet you. Yeah, he's all over.
No,
that
he's
stuff.
already in. He's already in.
He had an Instagram. He's going down his roster.
Like, this is my one team.
Well,
What
yeah,
do you guys
I
think?
saw him.
My
When
first
you think
team.
of this 12-team league, I'm like, Zach, it's not football. What are you doing? Like, my 2 favorite things are NFL fantasy, CFL fantasy.
Well, you get the week.
Yeah.
You never
I know.
done the baseball, hey, though? That's
I
like
did baseball.
Yeah.
I think what's happened is that
Rotisserie league?
baseball has kind of driven me away from hockey as well. I view them in a similar fashion.
Yeah.
I especially the ones that have like hits and block shots and face, like all that stuff. It's too much. Like in football, you have receptions and yards. Like that.
You can keep your
it's more
sabermetrics,
simple.
eh?
Like it's just, I don't know. I love hockey, but I can't get into the week to week fantasy hockey. I just can't do it. Now, back in the day when I was drafting heavy and just in regular hockey pools, and I think the hockey pool is where it's at. I don't think hockey needed to go to this head-to-head stuff. I just set the hockey pool and go from there. Anyway, my favorite magazine used to be the Sports Forecaster magazine. I don't even know if that one's done anymore. McKean's Hockey had a good one. I think that's only online now. We were doing our draft at the end of August. The Hockey News didn't even have their fantasy guide out yet. So even companies that handle fantasy hockey technically don't even care about fantasy hockey anymore. All right. What do you think? 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999. Do you play fantasy hockey? I can't do it. Some people will be like, Dusty, you're a big hockey fan. You want in my fantasy hockey league? I'm like, no, man, I got no interest. He's like, what do you want?
Well, you can, and being a fan, I don't think they don't go hand in hand, really. Like you can still, I think, enjoying it, like even the CFL fantasy for me. Once you're out, the pressure's kind of off. It does kind of destroy one's mind at times when you're, behind it and you're kind of like, oh, what do I do? What do I do? And you're kind of watching in terms of that. I know we've said fantasy draws you into more of the games that you wouldn't be necessarily watching or paying attention to. But at the same time, it is a little more relaxing when you don't have the pressure of and that's football. We're talking baseball and hockey, the day to day. Like that.
Well, some of it's day to day. Some of it you can just set for the week.
Sure, for the week. But I'm just saying, it's a little more compact. And
I can't do it. Dex says fantasy hockey is a huge grind, trying to start guys with more games every week.
Yeah, like it can kind of eliminate that, and you're not getting paid for it. I mean, there's usually a prize maybe, but you're not on a salary here.
Morning, fellas. Can I get a birthday conch from my daughter? She turns the big 05 today. Last weekend, we were in the kitchen making breakfast, and my wife asked her to turn on the speaker to play some music, and she goes, Alexa, play Edmonton Sports Talk. I almost teared up. And to say it was a proud dad moment is a huge understatement. My man, that's what I'm talking about. Raise those nasties right. Happy birthday, little Maple. Sports Forecaster was a great hockey mag. That text comes in. It was. And the Ched guys like Stoff and those guys used to have like they must have had a deal. There was ads in there for them, including there was a Reed Wilkins page, I think.
A full page.
I think there was a Reed Wilkins page, which I'm going to have to go and dig up and bring it in and have him sign it. Tomorrow at Southport Chevrolet, Reed Wilkins will be signing copies of the 2018 Sports Forecaster. You have to bring your own.
Yeah.
You have to find it and bring it. But that'll be fun. If you're watching over on YouTube today, hammer the thumbs up for us, all right? We'd appreciate that. Sub to the channel if you haven't already. If you're listening on TuneIn, you're listening on iHeart, you're listening at EdmontonSportsTalk.com, just text and tell your buddies how easy it is to consume our content, and we think they, too, will like it. I didn't want to get into this big fantasy hockey debate today.
Well,
but
you can step out if you.
I mean, how much do you love it? How much do you maybe not love it that much? I don't know.
I think here might be the answer. The real, not so slim shady. Only play fantasy hockey come the playoffs. Maybe that's the.
But see, that's the thing.
Everybody likes a good pool, hey?
I like to mix it. Well, that's the thing. You mix in a couple of playoff pools where you don't have to say your lineup. You just draft your guys and you watch. There's no way.
You get the draft, the beauty of the draft, and then.
There's not a world that we live in where I would watch a San Jose Sharks Calgary Flames game just because I had guys playing fantasy hockey. Whereas I will watch an NFL game because I've got 3 guys playing in it. It's overload. Like NFL, 1 game a week. It's easy. Say your lineup, you watch the game.
And you can think about it throughout the couple of days and kind of ruminate on what you're going to do. Operator Rich, though, couldn't disagree more, Dusty. The Tickle My Sack Kick Fantasy Hockey League is so much more involved in my life than any other fantasy football. They're pretty nuts about it, he says. So, if you got a fun name like that, you can kind of gets you going a bit more.
Yeah. No.
Not even a Tickle My Sack League. Hey?
No, my fantasy football team names have been Calvin's Johnson for years.
You're in the Wandering Cone. That's more than enough.
Exactly. All right, let's get to an update for Nisku Glass. If you're in a fantasy hockey league and your team loses all the time and then you get mad and you smash the window in your living room, guess what? Nisku Glass can fix it. Eric's got more on that with a sports update on the other side here in the 6 o'clock hour. Hammer the thumbs up. Send us your conch requests. We're going to get to, that's good. We're going to dive into the fan zone and talk about that Oilers second line, which should be a fun conversation as well. Don't go anywhere.
Injuries continue to pile up in the NHL preseason. Sharks rookie Macklin Celebrini left their game with Utah, sustaining a lower body injury. He'd play one more shift before not returning. Artemi Panarin, meanwhile, leaving in the opening frame of the Rangers-Devils game with a lower body injury, while Brady Tkachuk and Tim Stützle both each sustained upper body injuries midway through the second period in the Sens win over Montreal. Stützle injured on a hit from Arbor Jekash, who was assessed a major for interference in a game misconduct. Tkachuk, meanwhile, injured after he engaged with Jekash following the play. Patrick Laine announced yesterday he will miss 2 to 3 months with a sprain to his left knee that will not require surgery. Oilers in Seattle tonight in preseason action. The club reducing their training camp roster by 6 yesterday. All placed on waivers were Lane Peterson, Colin Delia, Ben Gleason, and Phil Kemp. James Hamblin loaned back to Bakersfield, while Bo Akey has been loaned to Barrie. The GCL Diesel pregame show with Tom Gazzola will come your way tonight at 7 o'clock here on Edmonton Sports Talk, the iHeart and TuneIn radio apps, and of course on YouTube. Regular season puck drop next Wednesday at home to the Jets. Closer to home, the Oil Kings back in action Friday night in Brandon and Saturday night in Regina, while Calgary doubled up Drumheller 4-2 in AJHL action. Just the lone game tonight, we'll see Lloydminster host Camrose. Major League Baseball wild card playoffs yesterday. Tigers over the Astros 3-1. Game 2 this afternoon, 12:32 down in Houston. The Royals shutting out the Orioles on the road 1-0. Game 2 goes 2:38 this afternoon. Mets doubling up the Brewers 8-4 from Milwaukee. Game 2, 5:38 tonight. And the nightcap once again this evening will see the Padres hosting the Braves. San Diego shutting out Atlanta 4-0 last night. First pitch tonight, 6:38. Over to some NFL news. Raiders wide receiver Devontae Adams has reportedly told the team he'd like to be traded. NFL trade deadline will fall November 5th. Bills linebacker Von Miller suspended 4 games for violating the league's personal conduct policy. You can join me at the Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge tomorrow as we kick off Week 5 when the Falcons host the Bucks. Smoked brisket cheesesteaks on special and your next chance at some NFL merchandise. Elks and Riders Saturday at 5 from Commonwealth. You can join the EST crew down at the tailgate at 3 for the 2024 Elks Tailgate Chili Cook-Off. Elks 4 points back of the Lions for third in the CFL's West. Week 18 kicks off Friday from Hamilton when the Ticats welcome in the Blue Bombers. Nisku Glass is growing and now hiring. If you're a nasty that wants to work with other nasties and can cut glass and replace windshields, then we want to hear from you. Email your resume to info@niskuglass.ca or stop by our shop to apply today.
It's all gas, no brakes. All gas, no brakes. It's all gas, no brakes. We win the championship at Planet Parade. Step out on the court and it's over quick. All aces to go like Djokovic. You're at the 3-point line, no time on the clock. You don't even need to watch, you know I'm hit it. 82-0 plus 16 mo. That's a perfect season and a championship. Me and Zach run tracks like Andre DeGrasse and Usain Bolt. You can't handle it. We at the Estes looking for the belt. We the best like Gretzky, Messi, and Phelps. You want to test me? Better bring help. Calm under pressure. You get overwhelmed. It's all gas, no brakes. All gas, no brakes. It's all gas, no brakes. We win the championship at Planet Parade. It's all gas, no brakes. All gas, no brakes. It's all gas, no brakes. We win the championship at Planet Parade.
Let's kick it off, gotta cheer for your team. The city of champs, win the gold and the green. Ice in my veins and the turf on my feet. Keeping it up on the waves and the streams. Dusty, Trevin, LTE, Tommy G, Matty I, Jay and Jasmine. After that it's 1-3. We got the smoker cooking up with the Latino heat. 3-6 on a drive, you know we score when we go live. It's Reed Wilkins and J Mill to glue the scenes. Man, really, it's a dream. It's just been a year, but it's clear no one else got us beat. Our own beer and our own booze, and now this. Man, really, it's hard to believe. Great hosts, better guess, all works, no breaks, no rest. Get the check, hit the mark, no mistakes. We the GOAT like LeBron James or MJ. Anyways, here's to you. You the nasties through and through. Couldn't do this without you, and it's true. Man, here's to year 2.
Here's to year 2. Here's to year 2. Couldn't do it without you. So here's to year 2. EST. It's all gas, no brakes. 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 We win the championship at Planet Parade. It's all gas, no brakes. 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 We win the championship at Planet Parade.
You better watch your step.
The clear choice for sports is no competition. If you're debating, you're hating, or you just don't listen.
Go, 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 go.
It's all gas, no brakes.
Ooh, all gas, no brakes. Josh Clausen, Ice Cube, bringing the heat.
And beat nuts.
And beat nuts with the beat. Real nice. What a way to get going on a Wednesday morning, eh, boys? That gets you fired up. You can text us anytime. This text is in. I can't believe I'm reading it. Ice Cube is such fire. How about that? He came in yesterday looking like a young Steve Yzerman, full-blown Yzerman.
And playoff beard.
Yeah. Did he have a beard?
He's giving Tommy a run for his luck here.
I couldn't even tell. That's a tough one. Sorry, man. All right, your text message is the Paris Jewelers inbox. The Nielsen Show presented to you by South Ford Chevrolet. Make plans to pop by. At least pop by and say hi on Friday. Get some food. Get some of the drinks. Get some of the giveaways. Drive a little. Save a lot. South Ford Chev, Friday, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. We'll be set up at South Ford Chev. Chris texting this morning says, listening to a guy that rambles on about a pool that had 9 managers stab him in the back and the effort he puts in to win it only because it's NFL. Talk about NHL pools being too involved. Cracks me up. No, now look, am I trying to spite win a league? Yes, I am.
Yeah.
But I still only have to worry about it one day a week.
Yeah, I think that was the whole point there, right?
I think so.
Discussion. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's probably the way to look at it. Now, there's this one guy who popped up in the chat. I don't think I've ever seen him before. Timothy Motwe.
Sounds made up.
Fantasy hockey is for sickos. I love it. So involved. NFL fantasy is the GOAT, but hockey an easy second. It makes you enjoy every aspect of the game and makes the season so fun to watch. So there you go. I mean, what's the saying? To each his own.
Different strokes, different folks.
Yeah. That's another saying that would tie into this current situation that we find ourselves in. All right, let's get into that's good for the Italian Center. Got to pick up that. So yesterday, Tammy texted me. She was working yesterday at the kids' school. She was subbing there. She goes, hey.
Sounds like you need a supper idea.
Yeah. She's like, hey, can you stop by the store and pick up supper? And I didn't even have to think about it. I was just like, yes, I can. Don't mind if I do. Where did I go? Straight to the Italian Center shop. What did I get? Massimo's Heat and Serve spaghetti and meatballs.
Classic.
Oh, it was, and the family loved it. Marcia was just like, last night he's eating and he goes, these noodles are so large. Like because usually Tam will make like whole wheat spaghetti. And Marcia, I said, no, Marshall, this is real Italian pasta. You will sit there and enjoy it. And he was just like, even the Muzz ate her whole supper.
Oh, yeah.
Usually she sits there at the table after we're gone and talks for like 30 minutes, picking away at it. She was crushing the spaghetti and meatballs
Slurp up
last
the
night.
sauce, you know?
It was terrific. So I walked into the Italian Center, got the spaghetti and meatballs, and it was, I don't know, it was like around 1:30. Hadn't had lunch yet. So the guy gets himself a mild panino.
They're right there. They're right there. You can't miss them.
Took this panino home, only heated up half of it, and could barely finish the half. The panino is just, it's huge. It's 2 meals. It's 2 meals. Italian Center. That's good. Spaghetti and meatballs, lasagna, ravioli with the creamy pesto sauce, rigatoni. They got it all. Individual family sizes. And the family size fed my family of 4 perfectly. And in fact, I think there's a little bit left over Muzz is taking for lunch today. And I said, you have to know that
Ding, ding.
while you're in grade 2 tomorrow, sitting down there and you open up your little thermos with your spaghetti in, I want you to look at the rest of your class and go, that's good. Brought to you by the Italian Center Shop.
Whips out the whole page. And
I want her to start reading liners at school. I think that would make sense.
It'd be pretty good.
Yeah.
Safe to say, that's good. I noticed the toaster oven was plugged in yesterday too. I'm sure Gager was putting.
Gager was doing chicken tendies.
Oh, the tendies.
He did chicken tendies again yesterday.
He's not scared to put in an old pie from Italian.
No, he'll mix in one of those. Yeah, he's not afraid.
He'll drop a pie in there.
He put it. Yeah, yesterday he did the chicken tendies. They're pretty good. They're pretty messy. They're very crunchy. They're kind of messy. But yeah,
wouldn't mind that chicken again from Italian Center too with the lemon. Remember we had that, those sandwiches, the cutlets.
Do I remember? Come on, I wrote it down in a notebook at home.
It's dear journal.
Here's what we got from That's Good today. Playoff baseball is just electric. Like I can't think of. Like I watch a lot of regular season hockey. Love the NHL playoffs. You know I watch a ton of regular season basketball. Love the NBA playoffs. We obviously watch all the footballs, CFL, NFL, love the playoffs. I don't watch much regular season baseball, especially when the Jays suck. I don't watch much regular season baseball, but playoff baseball sucks me in. It's just
we
like
said too, like opening day, it's the high.
Yeah.
It's opening day.
And then
you get
rest
the
of
dog
the day.
days of summer, and there might be a time during the summer, like a week, where you're kind of like, I don't mind watching an old. It's like 35 degrees outside, and nobody's in the stands. Guys eating a hot dog. It's like that's summer ball, right? So it's kind of ticks up a bit, but yeah, then it goes down the rest. Wild card, straight up there. It starts in the afternoon, goes all the way through to the night. People are skipping work. It's a great scene.
Part of it might be because I don't think my interest in the other sports can be cranked up much more than it already is. But baseball definitely catches my interest more in the playoffs by a significant margin. It's just watching the Padres last night. There's a starting pitcher at like 11 or 12 Ks.
Yeah.
I was there for a game this year, so I was just like, man, I can't imagine being back there right now for a playoff game. I've been to a lot of baseball games. I've never been to a playoff baseball game in Major League Baseball.
It hit a little
and I want to take that in. I think that would be terrific.
Well, you go from places that get, handful of hundreds of fans during the regular season to a jam-packed park that never really sees that type of attendance, if at all.
Like it almost goes to me like every single pitch during the regular season is just, you're just like, another pitch, every single pitch in the playoffs, like the anticipation for it is just incredible. I don't know how baseball can take that. How could baseball
bottle it up and
take the playoffs, bottle it up, and sprinkle a little bit of it onto the regular season?
Maybe extending the regular season. I joke, but limiting it maybe a bit more, right? Like that, it's too much.
Dial it back.
It's too much. If you made those games a little less, and it would matter, but then of course you go into the record books and all that, and the.
But let's say they play 130 games instead of 162. It's still overload.
Oh no, but you'd have to cut it back quite significantly to kind of get that matter involved again, and I don't think they're any close to doing that. I just think that's you can't have the excitement of playoff ball without the boringness of regular season ball, right?
Is baseball like how many of you watch a baseball game during the regular season that doesn't involve your team. You know, like I'll sit down and watch. I'll watch the
depending on the
Canucks
storyline
and Jets, and I'll watch what's on Wednesday night for hockey, and I'll watch Saturday night Leafs and Sens or whatever. NBA. Usually I'll watch a Lakers game, and if there's a game on after it or a game on before it, I'll watch that as well. It's not like on a Thursday night I'm telling Tam and the kids, like, hey, sorry, I have to watch the Suns and the Clippers tonight. So football, kind of peruse whatever's on that day. I'll watch the Thursday nighter, I'll watch the Sunday nighter, I'll watch the Monday nighter, even if it doesn't involve the Detroit Lions. So I'm sucked in there. But I don't spend a lot of time sitting down to watch non-Blue Jays baseball, and this year I didn't even really want to get invested in the Blue Jays.
A first pitch after 8:30 down in LA with Vin Scully on the call, I would be a sucker to tune into as you're going to bed. There's something about a West Coast start time. Other than that, nothing really else
that's part of the
catches
conversation
eye,
is, oh, what do you like about baseball? Oh, I like watching it while I go to bed. Like that. That's not something you can build. Like the Major League Baseball can't roll out a campaign that goes, hey, watch this as you fall asleep.
Not for the whole nation. But again, whoever is calling the games, sometimes I'm a little more in tune to that. I don't know. I'm just trying to make a case here for it. But no, there really is none. And you got to be a real sicko. Like this season as well. I kind of enjoyed watching the White Sox. It was kind of fun during the... they were so bad.
When they were so bad.
And you're watching, you're like, how many people are in the stands today? 15? It's kind of fun.
Paul texts in and says, guys, baseball playoffs are amazing to watch, but you can miss me with the champagne sellies after a series win. Hey, after a series win is one thing. What about after clinching a playoff spot?
Yeah, but they played so many games.
They do play so many games. It's a grind.
And then, again, you can get knocked out in 2.
Jocelyn is in and says, guys, I have the MLB package. I watch probably 50 to 75 games of teams that aren't mine. How would I view it?
Rip City Step. I'll listen to Riverhawks games, even though I'm a Portland Pickles fan. So he's all over it, eh? Like
that's
Mr. West Coast League.
That's a good one as well. 780-218-9999. Benjamin Vandervan texts in and says, guys, I can see Marshall holding up an Italian Center Panino sandwich at lunchtime and doing the liner like Happy Gilmore Subway ad. Talk about a hole in one.
Right on top of the desk.
That would be good. Peter's in and says, yes, actually, baseball is the only game where I can watch from Little League to MLB. Fantastic game. The other sports have to be high caliber. Yeah, it's an interesting point because we all love going and watching Riverhawks games. And it's not like those guys are pros, or many of them are heading to the pros. But we love enjoying it in person.
But getting down to the ballpark in person,
that's what it
way
is,
different than the television
person.
experience. Yeah, which is why, hypothetically, if you were residing in a city with a Major League Baseball team, and it wasn't your team, say you had to move to Arizona, you'd go to Diamondbacks games, right? To sit there and enjoy yourself? I mean, you wouldn't necessarily be cheering or have any rooting interest in the Diamondbacks.
This is how we used to spend.
But you go and
pre-kids. This is what we do on our vacations.
Go to baseball games.
Tammy and I would travel around to cities that had baseball teams and watch games.
Check out the park.
Yeah.
Eat the food.
I don't know. It's baseball.
But the television experience is...
I have a very interesting relationship with baseball. But that's good is where I wanted to get to. Baseball playoffs, electric. Just electric. The vibe at the game, it's just like people... It's so good. So good. I just can't. The rest of the regular season, it's just grinds on me a little bit. All right, 780-218-9999. Paris Jewelers Inbox. Nielson Show presented by South Fort Chevrolet. If you're watching over on YouTube today, let's hammer the thumbs up and sub to the channel if you haven't already. We greatly appreciate that. 15 likes away from changing 100 here in the first hour of the show. If you need a conch before 7 o'clock, you better move quickly on it. Second hour of the show is absolutely jam-packed. Jamie McLennan is going to catch up with us. We're going to spin that online NFL Wheel of Destiny. We got the key word for the EST flyaway to LA. Free advice for Jamie Bunting, Macramalla, all jammed into hour number 2. Right now, let's get into the Fan Zone for fans first. By fans, for fans, no fees, all season long. Your tickets to Oilers games. Get them at Fans First, www.fansfirst.ca. Save yourself a few bucks on the tickets, and maybe if you save up over a series of games, you can buy a hot dog at one of the games, which would be pretty cool as well. All right, the Fan Zone today.
They should have an offer on there. Like tickets to everything, Then like a hot dog, you can get a hot dog
Too much.
for a bit of a cut on the fan zone, right? Like
save 70% off a hot dog. It only costs you $9.
the fan zone.
Lots of talk about the blue line in yesterday's fan zone. But I want your thoughts right now. 780-218-9999 over on the Nasty Chat on YouTube. Draisaitl between Skinner and Arvidsson. Do you think it will work? And how long do you give it to click? Send your answers now to the fan zone. 780-218-9999. YouTube, Trev, what's your patience like for Draisaitl between two new guys? What do you think?
For this line, well, as we saw last year, Draisaitl, I mean, he didn't really have a problem. It was annoying for him, I'm sure, but wherever he was always producing, whether it was McLeod or Fogle. So I think I'm going to give it like 5 games.
That's it, eh?
I think around 5 games, and then but maybe okay. You know what? No, 10 games.
They've never played together before. Any of these 3 guys.
Yeah. I will say, Arvidsson and Draisaitl, they already look like they have a little bit of that European connection. Just from watching, their give and goes were really good. So I'm not too worried about Victor Arvidsson and Leon. It was just Jeff Skinner, and I don't know. That was my first time watching a game, for the Oilers this preseason. But Jeff Skinner, he was the one that was out of it. So I think Victor Arvidsson and Leon Draisaitl, I'm sold. I think that's going to work. But Jeff Skinner, I don't know. He was the odd one out. He couldn't really dish a pass. He looked lost. He bobbled the puck a few times if you were watching. That's what I had noticed. So I'd give it 10 games and then maybe put Nuge and see what Jeff Skinner could do on the top line there. But Victor Arvidsson and Leon Draisaitl, I'm sold that those two are really going to work together.
Colin the Amishman is in and says, guys, I think Nuge ends up replacing Skinner with Leon and Arvidsson after like 20 games or so.
RCN also had that in there earlier as well. That's kind of the going
over on the
going opinion. Nasty
that
chat.
Nuge will slide in there as well. Rick, what do you think? How many games you give it?
Yeah, I don't know.
Never played together before in their lives.
Well, preseason or regular season game?
Enough with the preseason.
YTT says 5. I mean, maybe a 10.
You
said 10? 5, 10. Yeah, 10.
5, 10.
I'll go on the heavy side
10,
of that.
10 takes you into November.
Sure.
Yeah.
Early November.
You should know a little bit by then, right?
How many games?
I like to think.
But again, it's not something that needs to be set in stone, and give them some time. If it doesn't click, maybe you revisit it due to outside circumstances later on, and you have to go back there. I think again we've talked about with the people they brought in, they do have options, and you can move them around. But yeah, if he is kind of the odd man out with that trio and not seeming to click, make the change. And but again, it depends.
11 games in October.
11 games in October. Well, sure, the month of October.
I'd say the month of October.
I think that's a fair
31 days.
Give them 11 games.
Yep.
Some
see where they're clicking. Totally judge your decision on their Fenwick and Corsi, and then go from there. Your thoughts on it in the fan zone to 780-218-9999. Fan zone presented to you by Fans First. Nature Boy says Arvidsson and Skinner compared to Fogle and McLeod. That's all you need to say. There should be a little bit of an upgrade in that
toughness,
in that spot.
Though, the toughness.
Doesn't sign text guy with a different angle on it. This is why we do the fan zone. It's not dependent on the number of games, but the number of losses. 3 losses, and there's panic. So let's say they start the year 3-3, but Draisaitl, Arvidsson, and Skinner they're looking okay. You'd probably like to see more of them, but they're 3-3. Trev, at that point, would you pull the trigger on it? Plus, by the way, 3-3 is not the end of the world here. So
I mean,
no.
Yeah, like that's an interesting take, but like if they're losing and that line is producing, then I'm not changing it. Like they can, as LT says, 2 things can be right. If that line is like contributing to their losses, even though they are losses, but if they're putting up points, in those losses, I'm not splitting them up.
C-Max from the south side says, guys, I think Draisaitl, Skinner, and Arvidsson will work. I would say 5 to 10 games, and they'll find it.
Mishi in the Paris Jewelers inbox says the classic American Thanksgiving dates, so you're kind of doubling up our time. Late November.
But you're looking at 25 games then.
Oh, yeah. Well,
but that being
their
said,
opinion on mine. And he follows it up with, you don't get married after 5 dates, need time to gel.
Well, it depends who you are.
That's true. This is all kind of...
If you know she's the one right away, you
might
as well save all the money on dates and stuff.
Yeah.
Just get it done.
I do like the date analogy when it comes to this line. How long before it gets married, hey?
Yeah.
Like,
at what point
like
is Arvidsson staying over at Leon's house?
well, sure, you know. Skinner keeps showing up without the wrench in the nasty chat, right?
Trev 15 is in and says Skinner is holding back on purpose so he can take Nuge's spot with McDavid. Interesting.
The old switcheroo.
Interesting.
Now it's kind of like a Seinfeld dating episode, hey? Where he plays so bad to get up there on the first line.
Peter's in the fan zone today and says, guys, if it's a train wreck early, 5 to 10 games. If it's up and down, I think you got to ride it out for 20.
Yeah, like if you're seeing glimpses, you have to then give it some more time. If it's a complete, if you're just getting zeros and zeros, then I think it gives you a little more room to act quickly.
Rip City Step is in. Skinner is scoring 93 goals this season. Sorry, Gretzky, records are made to be broken. The fan zone.
Love it.
We do like when you put the fan zone at the end of your fan zone text. It really gives us an opportunity to get fired up. What's happening over on the nasty chat here?
Amishman19 says Knob seems more patient discussing Chris Knobloch, and maybe that's where you kind of take this thought process too. It's fine what we would do, but
let's see. Tim says it'll work by November. If not, I'd give it to mid-November. Zulu says 7 to 10 games. Smitty the Welder says I think Skinner will end up on Connor's line and Nuge will be with Leon. So there's that as well. And Tim also adds if Skinner is healthy by game 15, I'd be pleasantly surprised. So you've got that angle on it as well. Stay healthy, get through October, and then go from there. Hey, look at that. We're at number 97 on the likes today. 3 more likes, change 100 here before 7 o'clock. La Bamba guy says, guys, if this was the Woodcroft era, we'd be talking about shifts, not games. A fan zone.
Hey.
That's a good one.
Not a bad shout. Couple November votes in there, though, hey?
Yeah.
Mid to late?
I think November's reasonable. It's 11 games to get you to November. Well, we'll talk about it with Jamie McLennan.
Oh, you're talking early November, though. Some people are going like into the month. You have time for that, eh?
I think if it was me, I'd probably... Now, once again, if you get to mid-November and you're still a 500 hockey team, then it's might have waited too long. But I think I'd probably go mid-November before pulling the trigger on it.
Changing 100.
Here we go. A week from right now, I guess we would have already done Tales of the North.
Mm-hmm. Get your garb.
Oh, can you believe it's happening? I can't wait. That's gonna be a lot of fun. All right, Jamie McLennan coming up just after 7 o'clock this morning. We had his thoughts on time needed for true chemistry to develop between 3 veteran NHLers who are coming together for the first time. I'll also get Noodle's thoughts on shortening the preseason, the Oilers' blue line, and a whole lot more coming up just after 7 o'clock. We're about 25 minutes away from giving you a keyword for the EST Flyway to Los Angeles, presented by 780. More on that coming up around 7:25. We're also going to spin that online Wheel of Destiny for a 3-gamer in the National Football League this week with Cool Bet. Free advice for Damien Bunting, Eric Macramalla, all on the way. Jam-packed hour number 2. Conch for the 6 o'clockers. Let's get to a sports update for Green Plan. Jamie McLennan for the first time this season on the other side.
Preseason action continues tonight for the Oilers as they're in Seattle to take on the Kraken. The GCL Diesel pregame show, just the pregame with Tom Gazzola, comes your way 7 o'clock right here on Edmonton Sports Talk, the iHeart and TuneIn apps, and on YouTube. The Oilers reducing their training camp roster yesterday by 6. Lane Peterson, Colin Delia, Ben Gleason, and Phil Kemp all placed on waivers for the purpose of assignment. James Hamblin loaned back to Bakersfield, and Bo Akey loaned to Barrie. Patrick Laine announced yesterday he will miss 2 to 3 months with a sprain to his left knee. That will not require surgery. The hits continuing last night in the NHL preseason with more injuries. Brady Tkachuk and Tim Stützle both each sustaining upper body injuries midway through the second period in the Sens win over the Habs. Stützle injured on a hit from Arbor Zekash, who was assessed a major in interference and a game misconduct. Tkachuk then injured after he engaged with Zekash following the play. Artemi Panarin, he would leave the Rangers-Devils game with a lower body injury. And Sharks rookie Macklin Celebrini left the Sharks-Utah game after sustaining a lower-body injury as well. Oil Kings back in action Friday night in Brandon and Saturday night in Regina. AJHL action from last night saw Calgary double up Drumheller 4-2. Lloyd will host Camrose tonight in the lone game. Major League Baseball playoffs yesterday. Tigers over the Astros 3-1. Game 2 back this afternoon in Houston, 12:32. Royals shutting out the Orioles 1-0 on the road. Game 2, 2:38 today. Mets doubling up the Brewers 8-4 from Milwaukee. Game 2 at 5:38 this evening. And the nightcap once again from San Diego between the Braves and Padres, with the Padres shutting out the Braves 4-0 in Game 1. Raiders wide receiver Devontae Adams has reportedly told the team he would like to be traded, as the NFL trade deadline will fall November 5th. Bills linebacker Von Miller suspended yesterday 4 games for violating the league's personal conduct policy. You can join me to kick off Week 5 in the NFL tomorrow at the Centric Casino Sports Bar and Lounge when the Falcons host the Buccaneers. Smoked brisket cheesesteaks on special, and your next shot at some NFL merchandise. Elks, they'll host the Rough Riders Saturday at 5. You can join the EST crew down at the tailgate for the 2024 Elks Tailgate Chili Cook-Off. Elks are 4 points back of the Lions for third in the West. Week 18 kicks off Friday from Hamilton between the Bombers and Ticats. Sports Update brought to you by Green Plan, providing you with award-winning environmental planning and consulting service, whether it's municipal, industrial, or residential. Plan it right with Green Plan. Visit green-plan.com or give them a call, 780-455-4292.
The Nielson Show, featuring Lieutenant Eric. Only on Edmonton Sports Talk.
.03 on the Nielson Show. Dustin Nielsen and Lieutenant Eric with you. You can text us anytime. You know what I did last night? I loaded all of our top 10 clips from 2014 to 2019 into Adobe.
Into a Nerf gun. Oh.
Yeah, no, I wish. Who do we got here? Who's this guy? You heard this guy before here?
It's a pleasure to be with you guys here on the field from up close, just watching Coach Vance Joseph. From here, you watch him now on the screen. This diversity in his background is helping him a lot tonight. Quarterback at Colorado, defensive back in the NFL, and here he is having the time of his life.
When I dip, you dip, we dip, hey?
Sergio Dip.
What a guy.
And here he is having the time of his life.
Still killing it in the biz, hey?
Yeah, what's he up to now?
Well,
What's
that's like
Sergio Dip up to
ESPN
now?
Deportes, I think he's kind of.
What a guy. Legendary run.
He's thrown into the mix, eh?
Legendary run.
What a night.
Zacticum when free food arrives at the office.
It's a pleasure to be with you guys here on the...
It's a pleasure to be with you guys. That's good. That's a throwback right there. Anyway, I got a lot of good stuff in here. What's this?
587.
Daddy likes.
Robert Clark with the Daddy Likes. That's a good one too. This one's just labeled low tide, short good. What's this?
Ball dicky dicky bong bong dicky dicky.
Oh, low tide. Oh, that's funny. Anyway, I might mess around with that a little bit more. If you're watching over on YouTube today, hammer the thumbs up for us. Sub to the channel if you haven't already. Jamie McLennan is scheduled to pop on here this morning. The Nielsen Show is brought to you by South Ford Chevrolet. We'd love for you to pop by and join us. Might as well check out a few vehicles. You don't have to buy one. I'm not going to hold a Nerf gun to your head. Or am I?
Well, but bring your appetite as well, hey?
Yeah, food, drinks, Oktoberfest. We got the pretzels. We got the brats. There's going to be a bunch of stuff going on.
Maybe I want to crack that jar of sauerkraut, hey? Wouldn't that be? I mean, why not?
There was ever going to be a day. If there was ever going to be a day, Friday would be the day. Come on out, see us, see Daniel, his family-friendly team at South Ford Chev on Friday. If you tell them we sent you, you'll get $1,000 additional credit on your trade-in vehicle value, and they won't be beat. Any price you can find anywhere else, take it out there. They'll give you a better price. Simple as that. www.southfortchev.com is where you can join us on Friday. I'm looking forward to having everybody out there for the entire day. It should be a nice day as well, weather-wise. Like, it's not going to be... Yeah, I think we're going to be set up inside.
It's a little dicey. No, but I'm just saying, just for the mood and everything, 14 degrees, a little bit of mix of sun and cloud, so... You never want any rain to dampen days like that, hey?
No, you definitely don't. That would look. I'll just say it, that would suck the big one.
You can take the battle outside. Clear on the grassy knoll.
I have not had a Nerf gun battle as an adult, but I am very much looking forward to it. Yeah. I've actually made a suit that looks like a car. I'm going to sit there in the showroom, and then nobody will know it's me.
Holding the gun to Daniel's leg under the table and pressing it in whenever you need to send a message.
I'd like to take somebody hostage just for fun one time. Just to kind of see how it is.
Test your metal.
Just to to see if I could handle taking somebody hostage.
If they kind of get you, the whole Stockholm syndrome, do they fall in love with you?
I think, they probably would.
And
I think in the end, I'd feel really guilty, give them a bunch of money, say I'm sorry, and then drive them to wherever they want to go.
It's been 23 hours. Listen.
There's no way I could hold somebody hostage for 23 hours.
Well, what's the end game?
I just want to see if I could do it.
No, but what is the point? You either get caught or they get freed.
There really is.
Everybody dies. There's no... The hostage game really
do
is
it
a
like
dead
in
end.
that movie Inside Man, where you're hidden inside the bank and then you walk out days later. Spoiler alert, with all the money. That'd be kind of fun because they held people hostage in that one.
You're a camo guy, hey? You like the incognito.
The only camo I have are some sweatpants shorts that my wife won't let me wear out of the house.
Well,
That's the only camo
Friday's
I have.
the day. I think Friday's the day. With those new 780 boxers.
She'll leave me. Like if I leave the house in those sweatpants, in those shorts, she'll leave me. Simple as that. All right, Jamie McLennan. He's back for another year every Wednesday with us. Brought to you by Pro-Am Sports, your locally owned sports memorabilia and apparel specialist. They've got upcoming signings, private signings, with legendary tough guy Marty McSorley and, of course, the Nuge, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, with more to be announced soon. Located in Edmonton on the corner of St. Albert Trail on 128th Ave. Visit them online at proamsports.ca. Noodle, right back into the thick of the great discussion on the show today. Noodles, do you think you could hold somebody hostage?
Yes, 100%. I've envisioned it in my mind sometimes too. If you catch like a burglar or something, instead of turning them over to the police, you just make their life hell for 24 to 48 hours. Now, I don't know what that entails.
This is like a Reservoir Dogs thing you got going on in your basement, eh? You're kind of walking around with a knife and the music playing. And
I was going to go back and say, Dusty, your wife wouldn't leave you because she wouldn't see you leave the house with those pants on because you'd be in camo. Right?
Camel.
So, that's the way I feel. But I mean, I don't know. I feel like you get bored. It depends on, it has to be the situation. What is the situation? Are you mad at those people? Are you extorting money? Like, what are you doing? Because I live in Toronto. Right now, it's the epicenter of like car thefts and people are stealing cars and all of that to the point where it's like out of control. You always wonder in your mind if you like caught one of them and it was like some 16-year-old punk, like what would you do? A lot of them are armed, so you just give them the car. I get that.
Yeah.
But, some of them might just be a guy with a Nerf gun. And you break their wrist or you do something. I feel like you want to give some retribution back for the community and teach them a lesson. But we'll see.
Somebody stealing cars could be like Nick Cage in Gone in 60 Seconds, where he's only doing it to save his brother's life, right? So they all have a story.
That's true. That's true.
Story.
But I highly doubt that's the case with some of the fine people around here. You never know. I mean, honestly, I just feel like I heard the discussion. I'm like, I wonder if I could. You wonder what you'd do. I feel you get bored, and then in today's world, you get discovered because that person's phone or something gets pinged, and they're like, "Why are they Why are they in your cellar in a trunk?" It's not good. So,
all right, Jamie McLennan with us on the show this morning. We just got to start with preseason conversation in general. Button was on yesterday, and he was just like, I hate it. You got to take it down from 8 games. And then there's a lot of conversation about that yesterday. To me, it came across like the Habs and Sens last night were just angry at the fact that they're still playing preseason hockey and just decided to take it out on each other. Is that not what it looked like?
It did. And now you're concerned Tim Stützle leaves, Brady Tkachuk leaves, Thomas Chabot leaves. You're trying to have a good start to the season. And that these guys are now. It might have been precautionary. I mean, that Jack guy hit initially. I watched it live. It didn't look good, but then you see the stick goes into Stützle's face. I think Tkachuk attacking him spun over. He might have hit his head on the ice in the altercation. it's concerning. I saw Celebrini leave last night. Like, my biggest takeaway from preseason is I get it. I can look at it from two different stances, I guess. If you were a young guy, which I was at one point, trying to make the team, you want as many games to showcase your talent and showcase that you're ready for the league. If you're a veteran guy, you want to get your timing, your cadence in. If I was a goaltender, I like to be in a couple games before I get going in the season. But all of this injury stuff, man, I mean, Patrick Laine, Drew Doughty. I was watching that game, Drew Doughty. Right away, I was like, that's a bad injury. The Patrick Laine one, watching that one live too, it was, you're sitting there going, that's a bad hit. And then you start to question, okay, it's a guy who's not going to play in the league ever against the guy that, you traded for in Patrick Laine. So I think it's a hot button topic. I think there is a sweet spot for games. Maybe, if the league is going to do it, you can't do it to the fans because the owners want the gate. But maybe the first 2 or 3 games, are going to be rookies. And both teams decide it's like, okay, we're not going to play veterans the first 2 or 3. And maybe the last 4 games, that's when the veterans step in and play 3 of the 4, and you're ready to go. These guys are in great shape. They take like a week off at the end of the season, and they're right back at it. So, I'm kind of torn on the subject.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, I think it make an interesting point. You might be able to get away from a gate perspective if you just go, it's rookies for 3 games. And then then you kind of do whatever you want with your lineup. Because McDavid was talking about, like, he still wants to get a little bit more action in with the full group because they haven't really sort of seen the full Oilers group just yet. And maybe we do tonight, and that transitions nicely for us. We were just having the conversation before 7 o'clock, Noodles, on how much patience you have to have with Skinner, Arvidsson, and Draisaitl. 3 guys that have never played together before. As a coaching staff, how much leash do you have to give them? Do you let them play together until November to see if it clicks? How would you approach that second line right now for this team?
Yeah, I mean, they're talented enough that I think, here's the thing. Leon is talented enough to make anybody look good. That's really, especially he's a guy that is not selfish. If anything, you want him to shoot the puck more. I've seen times where he'd be on a partial breakaway and he's looking for somebody to pass to. I think Jeff Skinner is the key in this because Skinner, if he plays a straight line speed game and gets available for the puck, Draisaitl will find him. And Arvidsson, even like the goal the other night, a little spin around from behind the net, reaching in. I think he might have touched Lankinen's hand or some sort of leg there. Like, I thought to myself, the ref's waving it off. I'm like, man, his stick was in there somewhere. But that's where he's best, in that 10-foot radius. He's just got to get there. To me, he's a smaller, maybe, quicker Corey Perry in that way because he's an agitator and he can get there. And to me, it is about developing confidence and chemistry. Because you decide on that line, who's going to get the puck, who's going to absorb contact, who's going to support the puck. It takes time. I'd at least give them a 10-game run. Now, easier said than done if you don't have the right chemistry, the right start, because then we know that, Knobloch will go to McDavid, Draisaitl, and Hyman and kind of load up. But I think you give them a decent amount of time to be comfortable with each other so that you settle in and get that chemistry. They're all top-tier players. They'll learn how to play.
Noodles, I just wanted to get your thoughts on this blue line here, and it has been kind of the talk of this preseason and heading into a season where you're chasing a cup. Ekholm Bouchard, we know Nurse cleared to play tonight. He'll still be having to knock off some rust during these final 2. And then the rest. I mean, is it cup contender worthy? Are you, like many, just waiting for that deal to come sometime during the season here, leading towards the trade deadline?
Well, when I watched Stan Bowman's presser after the offer sheets and everything, I thought he made a very good point. He said, we've still got some players here we have to evaluate within the system. And, he mentioned Troy Stetcher with the ankle injury, that he never really got his legs underneath him. He's a serviceable NHL player. You trade for Emerton. Is it Emerton? I don't want to butcher his name. Emerson, I don't know if he's a top 4 or a top 6. You got to figure that out. The Gleason kid looks nice. Maybe he gets an extended peak. Like, there is some some internal battles that you want to have shake out before you just go and drop the hammer and spend a bunch of assets and money on, a legit top 4 that can settle in. I think there's time to do that. I think the team is good enough to give it a 20-game radius to say, okay, and any of these guys push through. And if they do push through and settle in, then you're playing with house money. If they don't, then you know what you have to identify to go and get. So I do think you have the luxury of a little bit of time. They've got cap money if they want to use it. You don't have to run out and spend it right now. See what you have, and then assess maybe 20 games in type of thing if your team needs that improvement right now, or if you can hold on to the deadline to add that depth.
Yeah, what this sounds like? This sounds like an American Thanksgiving thing.
Oh,
if
yeah,
the blue line
that's
hasn't
exactly
clicked
what I
by
was thinking
American
for, yeah.
Thanksgiving, then you move on it early. If it has, well, then you're still probably doing something at a deadline anyway, right? So
I think you do. I really do. I think they do need. Looking at that defensive core, you mentioned the word cup champions and stuff. If you're doing it by committee, and obviously the top of it is really nice. And if Nurse can round into form, then you've got a top 3 that's formidable. But then from 4 to 6. That's where you need it to shake out. And Kulak's a nice player. I mean, we all know what he is. So it's really, you're looking at the other 2, those spots. I think there is a move to be made, even if the other players settle in. You just need it to look a little bit more meaner, if that makes sense. A little bit more where it is that's a cup contending D. Where I look at all these other teams, they've at least got a 4-pack of really good D, and that's what you need.
Noodles, before I let you go, got to get your thoughts on Swayman and the Boston Bruins, and how do you see this playing out when it's all said and done?
Okay, so I didn't like that it went public because, and it's usually the agent is kind of sneaking things out and, hey, we offered this or we're not happy about that. And then you've got Seabass the other day just going 64 million and pointing over here to the salt and pepper shaker. So I don't know. I mean, honestly, I love Cam Neely. I really do. I just think he's just such an emotional guy, and he'd had enough. I just didn't like that it went public because now it's contentious, and then Louis Gross had to respond, and now Swayman Cam. I think cooler heads are going to prevail. If what's being reported out there that they were asking for 8.5 or something, in that range, and the Bruins were at 7.8. Again, I'm just quoting numbers that I've read. These are not take it to the bank numbers. Then I think there's got to be somewhere in the middle where you find a happy medium and you get on and you repair the relationship a little bit. It's emotional right now, but I don't think if it gets done in the next week, then you could sort it out. If it takes a month or more and Korpisalo starts hitting the ground running and they kind of, can extend it, that's where you're going to see it really go to the end, maybe a month or 2. But I don't think it'll get to that. I think cooler heads will prevail here.
Noodles, before you go, who do you think was a better side character? Seabass. I mean, anytime.
Well, we had the whole toilet snenario too, where Swayman's in the
he's in the stall, and like Seabass busts in.
64 million's written on the
$64 million are a good time. Like you have to get that done. But no, last week on the station we were talking about Ben Stiller's character in Happy Gilmore. You will go to sleep, or I will put you to sleep. I will trouble you for a warm glass of shut the hell up. Who do you think was a better character, Stiller in that one, or Seabass in Dumb and Dumber?
Oh, you know what? It's Stiller's good, but I still think Seabass carries weight just because that movie, we all identified. We're like, that's Cam Neely. I don't know if it wasn't Cam Neely, then I would say Ben Stiller. But because it's Cam Neely, the hockey player, and the Farrelly brothers they were big Bruins fans, and they put all of their buddies in their movies. That's why I'm going to go with Seabass. That's the only reason. If it wasn't Cam Neely, if it was just Steve Buscemi, the actor, then I would go with Ben Stiller.
As always, buddy, great chatting with you. We'll do it again next week.
Thanks for having me.
There you go. That's Jamie McLennan, who very much would hold somebody hostage. Like, he didn't even hesitate on that. It's just like, yep, I'm in.
And I appreciate the unsolicited Dumb and Dumber drops when it came to that conversation, too. Didn't even need to press him on it. We
love the Seabass references, so that was great. Noodles and all of our hockey insiders brought to you by Pro-Am Sports, locally owned sports memorabilia apparel specialists. Got that Nuge signing coming up. Go to their website right now at proansports.ca for more info on that, or swing by and check them out on the corner of St. Albert Trail and 128th Ave. Good chat with Noodles on the that second line. He's saying November as well. Probably where it has to settle in. We will have Greg Wyshynski talking more hockey just after 8:30. I think he's picked the Oilers to win the Cup 2 years in a row.
Oh.
Does he go back to the well? We'll find out. Wyshynski just after 8:30 today.
Daddy Wyshynski.
What do you mean, Daddy?
Didn't he go off? He had
but he's got 2 kids now.
Yeah, I know, but still.
Yeah.
Daddy,
He spent the summer in like
that was the reason. Yeah, he was totally off the mark.
Yeah.
Mets are winning. He's got to love that.
Got the whole summer off with his kid, which is way better than the 1.5 shows I got when Elizabeth was born. My wife still wants to kill our old boss for that. Yeah.
I'll never forget that.
God. Tighten it up. My wife's in labor right now. Can you do the show Thursday? It's Tuesday. Like, come on, man. Let's have a baby here. God, don't miss having a boss. Do not miss having a boss. Like, ridiculous. If you're watching over on YouTube, hammer the thumbs up for us. Let's change 200 as we work our way through the second hour of the show. Do we have the online wheel of destiny? Trev, can we spin the NFL wheel?
Play the music.
For a random wheel parlay for our partners over at Coolbet Canada. We got the keyword coming up for the EST Flyway to Los Angeles. You're not going to want to go away. We're going to give you that right after we spin the wheel. It's like 3 minutes from now. You do not want to miss this. Give you a chance to get in. Rams and Cardinals, Warriors and Clippers, Edmonton versus either the Kings or the Ducks. Flights, hotel, car rental, December 26th to December 30th. It's going to be an amazing trip. We'll give you a keyword for that coming up here right away. But right now, let's spin the wheel of destiny. Trev, bring it in. Let's. Do we have the wheel music working today? Yeah. Give me that wheel music. Oh yeah, this is like when the piano was playing behind us when we started the show yesterday.
Still can't hear it. I don't got nothing. It doesn't connect to me. I have no idea.
But that's the only thing you can't hear is wheel music.
Yeah, like I think I can hear the effects when you do.
Maybe your hearing's worse than mine, and you just can't hear it.
It's that tone. It's that pitch.
That's what it is.
Exactly.
All right, let's spin this wheel, Trev. Give us our first team in our NFL parlay.
Spin that
wheel. Let's do it.
I can hear that.
What?
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense.
It's dumb.
Who do we got?
We've got the Saints.
The Saints.
Atif Saints.
Boy, Atif cheers for the Saints?
I guess so. That's a big one, too. Who they got there?
I did not know this. Who the Saints
Chiefs.
have this week?
Isn't that what it is?
Saints, Chiefs on the Monday Nighter. All right, so we'll take the Saints.
Eliminate.
What's the number at Coolbet right now? Let me see. Is it 4.5? Let's take a quick peek here. We're not going to take Saints money line. I don't mind them at 4.5. The Chiefs have been winning close games. All right, Saints plus 4.5, courtesy the wheel. The wheel is just. All right, let's spin that wheel.
Satisfying. And we've got the Raiders.
We got the Raiders.
Broncos, I think.
Broncos. Raiders plus 3. Raiders plus 3. Let's go Raiders plus the field goal. All right, so Saints plus 4.5, Raiders plus 3. We are on the dogs, boys. The wheel is all about the road dogs this week. All right, spin that wheel.
Oh, I love that sound.
One last time.
Oh, okay. Here we go.
Give us another dog. The wheel is frisky.
And the Jets.
Oh, man. The Jets. Vikings.
Yeah, well, it's always that final one that kind of puts a stick in the spoke. Eh?
The wheel.
The wheel is just. The wheel is mighty.
All right, so the wheel is on. Is the wheel on 3 road dogs this week? Jets plus 2.5.
Oh, you didn't know?
Yeah, the wheel's on 3 road dogs this week. Holy smokes, the wheel.
Oh, you didn't know? You better call somebody. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, tonight, D-Generation X proudly brings to you its 6th-time WWE Tag Team Champions of the World, the Road Dogg, Jesse James, the Badass Billy Gunn, the New Age Outlaws.
I love when he does that.
First time the wheel has gone 3 dogs. Can you believe it? Are you still playing the music? Yeah. Even though the wheel's gone. Well, that has something to do with it. You must not be able to hear like the back end.
Can't hear any of it.
All right, there you go. That's the Wheel of Destiny.
Love that wheel.
Saints plus 4.5. Jets plus 2.5. And the Raiders plus 3. Ballsy picks, Wheel. Ballsy picks indeed. We'll see how that plays out. If you're not yet signed up for an account at CoolBet, we're heavy onto it during the Lock Shop every single day from 11 until noon right here. If you've been riding with the Lock Shop, your accounts are probably doing pretty well. If you've not yet signed up for an account, go to coolbet.com. Use the code LOCKSHOP when you do, and you get a 100% deposit bonus on your initial deposit up to $200. Vera Montenegro says you never fade the wheel. Dean Belanger says the wheel is drunk.
The wheel is drunk.
The wheel has faith in Aaron Rodgers. What can we say? All right, let's get into it. It is the EST Flyaway. Hey, Eric, I think the Paris Jewelers inbox, I hope they can handle how many texts we're going to get here.
I think if people have sent in Macramalla intros, it's a good bet that they're going to slide right down to the bottom.
That's the problem. That's the problem. This is a tough day to text of the day.
You should probably tell them to send them back in after we do the Flyaway.
Okay, but then, maybe that would be the best way. So I should just tell them, send your Macramalla intros back in.
I think that's the best way. Okay, that is the way.
Well, that's what we'll do then. Okay. Let's get to your key word for the EST Flyaway today.
You should tell them what we discussed.
Tell them
what we talked about earlier.
Oh, yeah. If you have a Macramalla intro, send it in again in like 10 minutes because the inbox is about to take a massive pounding with the keyword.
It's a strategic text day to kind of get in for that A&W and to get in for the Flyaway. You got to time yourself and
got to hit it. Now, I've saved a lot of them from earlier on, but there will be some that were lost in the shuffle. 100%. The EST Flyaway to Los Angeles is this. It's from December 26th to December 30th. We get you on a plane. We fly you down to L.A. While you're there, you get to check out the new Intuit Dome. Clippers, Steph Curry and the Warriors. Then you get the Cardinals and the Rams. Cardinals, Marvin Harrison Jr. in the house. Are the Rams healthy by then? You hope so. And they're going to need to be.
And a division
at that point. And then you get the orange and blue. Yes, your very own Edmonton taking on either the Kings or the Ducks, depending on the scheduling of the NFL game. Then you come home on December 30th. Now, Maddie has said...
And you still got New Year's here, too.
You can be back home for New Year's.
Yeah.
Maddie has said if the winner wants to extend their trip on their own cost, we can help you set that up. So if you want to spend New Year's down there... and
a nice add-on.
So we can bring you back a little bit later on if you want to cover the extra cost. So
depending on who you bring.
That's there as well. The EST Flyaway to LA is presented to you by 780, homegrown local shop right here in Edmonton. 780 is both the shop name and their in-house clothing brand. Celebrates all things unique to E-Town. If you are proud of your city, you got to check out 780.com. They work closely with 100 local vendors from the 780 area code to help promote their brands and get them off the ground by putting them in their store. Check them out online. 780. That's the word 7, then 80.com. 780.com. Or at any of their 5 locations, Southgate, Londonderry, Kingsway, St. Albert, and the Outlet Mall out by the airport. I suggest you check out their Bird of Beef underwear line. Absolutely terrific. Extremely comfortable. And I did tweet last night, they're loyal to the Soil brand.
Tees.
They got tons of T-shirts over there. The one I tweeted out, it's got a big 97, and then right next to it says, "Damn, he's good." Woo! I mean, they got hundreds of stuff like this.
Yeah. But if you're looking for a gift, that's the thing. If you don't know what you're going to get somebody, you go in there, you wander around. It's just all a bunch of stuff. And it's random, but the local vendors, again, that's the best part. So you're going to give local, and it's going to be something you may have never thought of at all.
Yeah. So I didn't want to say this on the air, but the underwear that I got, it says thick and juicy. And when I put it on, my wife was like, "Oh, really?
Are you wearing it right now?"
I swear to God, that happened. Anyway, let's give you the key word. Day 2 of qualifying. You can qualify multiple times. So if you qualified yesterday, don't be like, "Oh, I can't text anymore." All right, here we go. 780-218-9999.
Watch this puppy roll. I know,
it's so much fun. It's so much fun. Today's keyword is vibrant, as in the vibrant nightlife in Los Angeles.
Yes.
Well, actually, yeah. I'm looking at the other keywords today. It all ties in nicely. Vibrant. Text vibrant. That's VIBRANT. Text vibrant right now to 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999. Today's keyword for the EST Flyaway, presented by 780, vibrant. And here we go. Text messages
play the dip.
start to absolutely fly in. Yeah.
Every time you say the word, you should play the dip.
The Paris Jewelers inbox this morning when we announced this key word.
And here he is, having the time of his life.
Pretty much. All right, you got 5 minutes to qualify for the EST Flyway to LA. It's an amazing sports trip. We're very happy to give you guys and girls and aliens and humans the chance to get in on this amazing trip to Los Angeles.
Los Angeles.
Yeah, living the good life.
La La Land.
Rental car, you want to go drive it down Rodeo Drive.
Yeah.
Just like the Pretty Woman. You can do that as well.
Might see a few celebs on your, right? That's not included in the package. It'll just be free when you're down there.
Free advice is coming up just after 7:30. Eric Macramalla on the way as well. We got lots to get to. We will also call a qualifier. You got about 5 minutes to qualify. So hit us up right now. 780-218-9999. The keyword is vibrant. Let's get to a sports update for Park Mazda right now with Lieutenant Eric.
Darnell Nurse has been cleared to play, expected to make his preseason debut tonight. Oilers visiting the Kraken, the club reducing their training camp roster by 6 yesterday. Phil Kemp, Ben Gleason, Colin Delia, and Lane Peterson all placed on waivers for purpose of assignment. James Hamlin was loaned back to Bakersfield, while Bo Akey will be returning to Barrie. The GCL Diesel pregame show with Tom Gazzola comes your way at 7 o'clock right here on Edmonton Sports Talk, the iHeart and TuneIn radio apps, and as well on YouTube. Another handful of injuries in NHL preseason action last night. Sharks rookie Macklin Celebrini left that game with a lower body injury. Artemi Panarin leaving the opening frame of the Rangers-Devils game. Well, Brady Tkachuk and Tim Stützle both each sustaining upper body injuries midway through the second period in the Sens' win over Montreal. Patrick Laine also announced yesterday he'll miss 2 to 3 months with a sprain to his left knee that will not require surgery. The Edmonton Oil Kings will hit the road for action this weekend, Friday night in Brandon and Saturday in Regina. AJHL last night, Calgary dumbing up Drumheller 4-2. The lone game tonight will see Lloydminster at home to Camrose. Major League Baseball wildcard playoff action yesterday. Detroit over the Astros 3-1. Game 2 goes this afternoon, 12:32 back in Houston. The Royals shutting out the Orioles 1-zip. Game 2 from Baltimore later today at 2:38. Mets doubling up the Brewers 8-4. Game 2 tonight from Milwaukee 5:38. And the Padres shutting out Atlanta 4-0. That game 2 goes from San Diego again tonight, 6:38 first pitch. Some NFL news. Raiders wide receiver Devontae Adams, he reportedly told the team he'd like to be dealt. The NFL trade deadline will fall on November 5th, while Bills linebacker Von Miller has been suspended 4 games for violating the league's personal conduct policy. You can join me back at Century Casino Sports Bar Lounge tomorrow as we kick off Week 5 in the NFL when the Falcons host the Bucs. Smoked brisket cheesesteaks on special and your next chance at some NFL garb. The Elks host the Rough Riders Saturday at 5. You can join the EST crew down at the tailgate for the 2024 Elks Tailgate Chili Cook-Off. The Elks are 4 back of the Lions for 3rd spot in the West. Week 18 will kick off Friday from Hamilton when the Ticats host the Bombers. Sports Update brought to you by the great staff at Park Mazda and dealer principal Mitch Lewicki, who brings chili to work every single day.
Hi there. If you're like me, you like to picture yourself in luxury, even though there's absolutely no way you could afford it. And if you can, well, even better. Thankfully, I picture myself in something that is luxury, but still absolutely affordable, like the all-new Mazda CX-90 from Park Mazda. With the new luxury features like facial recognition settings and quilted detail Napa leather seating, I can pretend to be comfortable with all of my proper settings activated without even touching a button, thanks to Mitch Lewicki and the great staff at Park Mazda. I like to picture Mitch Lewicki as a figure skater. He wears like a white outfit and he does interpretive ice dances to my life's journey.
Park Mazda, your dealer for life in Sherwood Park off Y Road, parkmazda.ca.
For real.
rookie mistake. Rookie mistake from Trev. Wins Rookie of the Year, and then this happens? Unbelievable. That means that we would have missed that funny
But you got to play the T for Real remix again. I mean,
was T for Real not playing either?
We were just grooving to
Unbelievable. Holy smokes. Get it together, YouTube Trev. Not that we can take it, not that we can take an SD away, but still.
No, because I waited to go get my coffee because I knew I had to send over the mic, and I swear I sent it over. So that one's on me. My apologies about that one, guys.
Lambley says it must be Dusty's new board.
No, it's not the board. The board is great.
The board is just.
Look at all this stuff I got.
Play another clip. You said you had a handful of clips.
Let's go! Yeah, I got so many clips. Let's see here. Pulled their Yarvies. This must be a Rashad clip.
Yep.
Well, I tell ya, the Oilers last night did a good job. They tied their ratties and they pulled their Yarvies.
Tie ratty clip.
My laugh was pretty fired up there. That was good. How about this one?
Check it out, boys. Giving old Yessie Boy Yarvie a ride here. Just seen him crossing the street and he hopped in.
Hey, right here.
Right here? Okay, buddy.
Hey, right here.
Right here. Like, just trying to get dropped off. Anyway, I loaded in all these top 10 clips from over the years. These are good ones here.
Well, I'm here in the freezing cold getting free chicken sandwiches because the food tastes great. I mean, it's chicken. It's fried chicken. I like fried chicken.
Hey, we're sorry to everybody who suffered some PTSD there.
Yeah,
when we went away.
Todd
after
and
the
YYC
update.
coming out of a sports update and the radio death gives me flashbacks.
I promise you, if Edmonton sports talk ever shuts down, we will do it in a much more brilliant fashion than that.
Oh, it'd be like blow up the building or something like that. You know what I mean? It'd be a grand day. You know? Like,
that's definitely
it'd be like a
definitely
wake,
where we'll
not
go.
a funeral. You know that type.
Yeah. Trev, you're getting somebody. Oh, first person didn't answer. Rookie move. On to the next one. You can't miss the call for the EST flyway to LA. Why in the world would you text in and then be like, well, I better get back to business.
Phone off?
Yeah. My job's done here.
I've done
Totally stop paying attention.
Token text.
All right. Free advice for Damon Bunting. Let's dive into this while Trev's grabbing somebody. Then we got Macramalla coming up here as well. Damon Bunting, look, if you want to do business with a good guy, buying or selling, he's your man. If he can't sell your house, no one can, which is probably true.
Hello, it's Trevor Edmonton Sports Talk. How you doing?
Very community-minded, good dude. You're going to hear him have a presence on the Reed Wilkins Show now as well. Check him out, DamonBunting.com, or on his Instagram handle, Damon Bunting Real Estate. List a home, sells it 2 days later, probably for more than you're asking. He's just that good. So
a pro's pro.
Yeah.
In the game, like
pros.
There's a lot of people in that game.
So
I mean that's it's a full roster in that.
I always there's so many real estate agents.
Anybody can be anybody can be.
Yeah.
But who's actually
Bunting? Bunting is.
He's good.
He's the best local slumlord you're ever going to find. If you need advice today, 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. We'll get to that. Trev, let's get to our qualifier right now. Who do we have? Let's do it.
This is Josh.
All right, Josh. Let's bring in Josh. Josh, congratulations, buddy. You are in the mix for the EST Flyway to LA.
Hey, perfect. Just give me a second. I'll turn my radio down so I don't get feedback.
Classic.
Guys on the radio.
Don't have to worry about that anymore. Well done, sir. Hey, who would you bring with you on this trip over the holidays down to LA?
I gotta bring my dad.
Oh yes,
that's
father-son trip. God, that gets me emotional. He's
been begging me to go for a trip, so.
Oh,
perfect.
Well, this would work out very well. Have you been to an NFL or an NBA game?
Yep.
Okay.
Long time ago.
Wow,
like
probably
12, 18 years, yeah.
Well, things have changed.
I watched the Grizzlies play the Magic.
Oh, cool.
No way.
First preseason game.
Penny Hardaway?
For the Grizzlies. That was the Magic's Grizzlies' first preseason game.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
GM Place.
Oh, wow. Throwing it back. I love it. Big country.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Sharif
that's awesome.
Abdul-Rahim, right?
Beautiful.
Big country.
Yeah.
God, I love these names. Stromile Swift came after that, but still, that's pretty good. All right, man. Well, congratulations. You're one step closer.
Perfect.
All right, there we go. Beautiful.
I like the father-son.
The father-son trip.
That's a great angle always. Eh?
I took my dad on a trip one time. He came to Winnipeg with me to call a Bombers game.
Same thing.
Yeah, he loved it.
Yeah.
He thought it was pretty
Take him
cool.
to the Elephant Castle, eh?
All right, free advice. Let's go. 780-218-9999. Lucas is in and says, hey, guys, it's been a few days since I lost the Dunya final. Should I congratulate Iwanek or continue to ignore that it even happened?
Well, Matty brought it up yesterday between
Ignore
these
it,
walls.
dude. Ignore it.
He was tap dancing pretty good. It's going to be a long winter in that league, the AGM to come. Some talk of franchise shifting as well in terms of locales. Look, it was a season in which McCord. I was out of it before it started. McCord didn't even know players were dressed, and then bada boom, a one-off game, and Iwanik's the champ. So,
congratulations, Matty! You won a 3-man league. Let's be honest, McCord doesn't count. Unbelievable. I almost want to boycott the show on the Bear every morning.
So no congratulations.
I wouldn't.
I think you wait till the AGM, hey?
Yep.
I think that's
and then say, oh, hey,
professionally.
Did you win?
Yeah, you don't want to wait.
I
till
totally forgot about that.
Yeah.
Dave's asking, hey guys, fantasy advice here. I have to start 3 of 4 in the half PPR league. Bijan Robinson, Breece Hall, Aaron Jones, Chris Olave. To be honest with you, I don't know if I want a piece of Breece Hall at all right now. I'd probably go Bijan, Aaron Jones, and Olave.
Papa Bear wants some advice. Bucky Irving or Najee Harris?
I mean, I'm a little bit of a Bucky Irving stan, so I'm gonna lead you in that direction. So I'd probably go, not probably. I'd go Bucky Irving. I'd go Bucky Irving for sure. Dusty, would you trade Mark Andrews and Chris Godwin for Jaden Reed and Freiermuth? Yes, I would. Mark Andrews is taking like less than 50% of the snaps right now. He's on the field for less than 50% of the snaps. I don't know what's happened.
Yeah, that balloon's been deflated a bit, eh?
That's absolutely driving me insane. I got him in one of my leagues, and I don't even know what to do with the guy. I'm considering dropping him. So yes, I would trade Godwin and Andrews for Reed and Freiermuth. Dusty, I've been offered Devon A-Chain for Brian Robinson Jr. Should I pull the trigger on it or keep Robinson Jr.? Man, I'd keep Robinson Jr. It's kind of that Trey Ford effect with Jaden Daniels in Washington. Like when Trey Ford is in the game, the Elks' running game is better because he's a threat to go. The Commanders with Brian Robinson right now, especially when you get down to the red zone and the end zone, they're so concerned about Jaden Daniels. Brian Robinson's having a heyday right now. So I know Brian Robinson was drafted like 4 rounds behind A-Chain, but things change, man. And I would keep Robinson in that situation. Hey boys, I'm in a 12-team hockey fantasy league. We know what we talked about this earlier. Would you guys take Hyman in the second round? Well, once again, impossible to tell. If it's just a straight up points league, like it's like a hockey pool and it's a points league, no, I'm not taking Hyman in the second round. But if it's one of those fantasy leagues where it's like you get points for power play goals and you get there's
no
goals,
sabermetrics
and there's a plus minus and all that garbage. Then maybe I'd lean towards Hyman. I can't tell you. I don't play those week to week leagues. So
yeah, I think the advice is don't play them from you.
Vitamin J says, hey guys, why don't you like Breece Hall? I have a trade offer in for him. Well, first of all, the Jets offense seems stagnant. Maybe that changes. Second of all, they're giving a lot of work to Braylon Allen as well. So I think the reason Breece Hall was be drafted in the first round, well, not I think, I know, it's because they weren't expecting them to give any sort of workload to a rookie. But Braylon Allen's getting enough of it that's been brought up in discussion, and Breece Hall says he's okay with Braylon Allen getting some workload. So I would consider moving Breece Hall, but you still got to get a pretty good return. I'm not saying give the guy away. But still, I think that's something that's going on. Guys, I've got some free advice, and it's real advice. All of the parents doing bottle drives with their kids' sports teams right now. If you're sorting bottles and cans, keep your mouth closed. People do not rinse out their milk containers, and you can get a mouthful of baby vomit smelling goop if you're talking and sorting simultaneously. Thus saith Twitter Mary.
I think some advice, too, just rinse them out, whoever you are. For your side, I rinse mine out at home. It's a nice treat. You go down to the bottle depot, the guy's sorting it. He's like, he breathes in through his nose. He goes, this is a nice surprise. You're opening it. You're not getting all sticky all over the place. You know, it's a good thing. Everybody, it's a win-win-win-win-win-win.
When we had myself and my buddy Fergus, we lived in a house right before I moved to Fort Mac. I don't know, I might have been about 25. We had a random closet in the kitchen. And all we did in there was
I think I heard the milk.
We threw milk jugs in there we lived there for like 8 months.
And you boys drank.
He drank, like he's my equal when it comes to drinking milk. So we're crushing milk. We would just throw them in there And we closed the milk closet. And then when we had to move out, we had to clean the milk closet out.
Yeah.
And my God, was that the grossest thing we ever had to do in our entire life.
Probably had a pulse by the end. Hey, is that alive?
It was just disgusting. Good times, though. I mean,
Great times.
That was a great house. Yeah. That was a fun time.
I don't think Tam would be so elated with the milk closet if you tried to bring that puppy back, eh?
No, probably not.
You should hide one downstairs.
Hey, Tam, what do you think about this milk closet I've been holding in the basement?
She's found the milk room.
That's it. I'm done. I always knew my relationship was going to end via milk closet.
Big milk.
Yeah. Stu Pedasso says, Dusty, Bucky Irving or Devin Singletary? Right now, I'd still say Singletary, but I think Bucky Irving's going to take over that job full-time from Rashad White. So ask me again in 3 weeks, I guess.
You are a stan. The Bucky Irving stan.
All right, keep those rolling in. Macramalla intros. We got a bunch of them. We're going to get to the man himself. Let's get to some intros before we bring him in. EST legal analyst and guy who's still weighing his legal options following his snub at the Estes for guest of the year. Can you imagine Macramalla coming after us? Wouldn't that be something?
We get served. That's the end of it. We were discussing endpoints. That's how it happens.
What's happening
Sucks
here?
us dry.
ESC legal analyst and guy who likes to go for naked walks in the woods. The only problem is he defines the bushes next to the golf course as the woods. EST legal analyst and guy who to elbow himself in the balls after eating the Ruffles Teen Burger just to make sure he hadn't died and gone to heaven.
And sponsor too.
That's a good one as well. EST legal analyst and guy who wears a long raincoat and a big hat whenever he meets new prospective clients, then proceeds to look up and around as he tells them, "Careful, folks, I'm about to make it rain." EST legal analyst and guy who angrily chews a tennis ball like a dog while making a deep eye contact after someone makes a good rebuttal in court. And man, there was one more that I read earlier that I really liked. I can't find it right now. What was it? I can't remember. Which one? Yeah, the shoes one.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God, I
Somebody's
can't
new
find
pair
the
of
shoes
shoes.
one. Yeah, I don't know. I must have saved it. It's up top here. Here we go. ESC legal analyst and guy who says, "I bet you can run super fast in those," every time he sees one of his staff in a new pair of shoes. Macramalla, is that true? I feel like that is something you would do, buddy.
I love speed. I have a need for speed. Absolutely. Anytime someone gets a new pair of shoes, I think it's amazing. But what's more amazing is I love the idea of shutting down your show by way of a lawsuit. I mean, the snub for your current longest running guest, really longest running guest of all time across all radio shows around the world is me. And I wasn't even nominated for anything. And so while the hurt runs deep, there's a way to address that hurt. And that is to take your show apart. Bit by bit, and this is how it ends for you. And I think that's terrific. And I want my co-counsel to be Mitch from Park Mazda. I think that'd be
you
so much
take
fun.
us down together.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that would be hilarious. You know what? I'm going to do right now, Macramalla, because you're here. Awanik sent out that Word doc yesterday where we're putting all nominees for the 2025 Estes. Any ideas that we have? And you know what I'm going to do right now, buddy? I'm going to start a category for Guest of the Year. And I'm going to put Eric Macramalla at the top of that list right now. You will not be forgotten in 2025.
That all sounded fake. I feel like there's no spreadsheet.
The computer's
and I feel like you're fake typing. This is what I feel.
I'm fake typing.
I think you're fake typing.
Eric, LT, confirm right now. Guest of the Year, Eric Macramalla, Nielsen Show. It's already in the file right there. And now I publish this back to the web for others to see. Boom. Congratulations, you're in the mix. Not going to say you'll be a finalist, but you're not going to be forgotten.
It's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen first. Will we have your award show, or will I shut down your
the wheels
show?
of justice?
Like, what's going to happen first?
I'm laughing,
right?
But I'm also getting a little bit nervous right now.
Yeah, as you should. You should drink nervously now. And I think having Mitch as my co-counsel will be amazing because it would be the first time in history that after the judge agrees and makes a ruling your show must be terminated, my co-counsel will be arrested and hauled out the back of the court.
Taking everybody down.
Smiling the
I love it.
That actually happened, by the way. I got to tell you, this is really,
okay.
This is years ago. So when I was an articling student, right? So lawyers will ask you to do research. And so there was this mom that breached a custody order. I don't do family law now, right? But back then, as a student, you do all these kinds of different things. And it was, okay, she breached the order. What's going to happen to her? right? An assessment. Sorry, what a memo. Every case would slap on the hand, slap on the hand, slap on the hand, double slap on the hand, and that's it. So we're in court, and there's a new judge in town. And she's pretty tough, apparently. So after we're done with our submissions, the judge rules she is to go to prison. And the lawyer I'm working with stands up. Well, can she go to her home to gather her belongings? She said, no. They cuffed her and hauled her out through the back of the courtroom, and she was gone. I turned to the lawyer. I go, that wasn't a very good memo, was it? And they were like, oh, boy. And then that night, I had a hockey pool. Right? I was running this hockey pool for years, but I couldn't go. You know why? Because we had to go visit her in prison. So we're going there. The lawyer I'm working with isn't like a terribly emotional guy, right? So we get to prison. Out comes Orange is the New Black. And she just grabs him and holds him and cries and weeps. And I'm thinking to myself the entire time, I might still make it to my hockey pool. I might. Anyway, this is why I do it. This is why I do intellectual property.
This is the this is the best transition because it worked out well. Because I was going to ask you about hockey pools because I know you're a big fantasy baseball guy. I was saying earlier today, I can't. Yeah, I'm a huge fantasy football guy. I have one hockey pool that my buddies and I drafted at the beginning of the year. It's just season long. It's not. Do you get into week to week fantasy hockey? Can you do you do that?
That was my last iteration of my hockey pool, which ended probably 10 years ago. I've been doing hockey pool since I had a mustache in grade 5, right? You understand? I've done this for a long time. The issue is when you do a baseball fantasy pool or fantasy league, it's just so much more interesting and engaging. And football, there's more on the line week to week. So the interest really began to fade for hockey pools with all my buddies. So I actually stopped doing it. But I did one last year for the first time. What we did is we did with our kids from hockey and baseball. Okay. So that's how I'm back in it. So this will be year 2 of that pool. We also did a baseball pool with those same kids. So that's how I'm back. And I like to do head to head. I just wonder for a bunch of 11-year-olds, is head to head. I maybe get your advice. Is it too complicated or is a season long pool better?
Well, it's funny you bring this up. I totally forgotten that Marshall and I this year took part in a box pool with some of his friends and their dads. So he just had to go through. I gave him the 5 players in each box. He went through. He checked it off. It was great to him. He's like, this is a hockey pool. Like, he was loving it. So we'll see how the interest is. Like, if he's coming to me every week and being like, hey, can we check the standings of the box pool? And then go from there. I do think, how old are we talking with these kids? 10, 11? Is that kind of
11? Yeah. Like
yeah,
the box
11.
Pool. Well, like we did a draft last year for the kids. Like the kids did their own draft, right? So that's more fun because you have, ownership.
The draft is fun. The draft is fun.
And you're not picking the same players, right?
Tough call.
So I don't know. In a box pool, unless you put them in a box, all the kids, and have them draft inside the box and seal the box and see what happens and laugh the whole time.
We were talking about it earlier today. Baseball, playoff baseball is just electric. And I wish I could get sucked in. Like, to me, baseball during the playoffs, I don't get, like, every pitch I'm like, wrap the season up. But every pitch in the playoffs, is like very anticipated. We were saying it this morning. Like, I love NHL regular season. I love NHL playoffs. I love NBA, but my level of interest in a sport goes through the roof when it gets to baseball playoffs. I don't know how you can kind of gather that up and insert it into the regular season even a little bit. You know what I mean? Make it more intriguing.
The baseball playoff sizzle, like a nice night at the Ponderosa, an old restaurant that was very active in the 80s with a dessert bar. There's no doubt that the regular season in baseball, unless you have a team, it's not necessarily compelling because there are 17,000 games. Every team plays 17,000. But in the playoffs, man, it just completely changes. It goes from low energy loser Jeb Bush to a guy who's looking lost on TV in Tim Waltz, but you can't look away because it's fascinating. What in the hell was that look on his face for half of that? He looked like an old man confused at a road crossing. That look on his face was fantastic, but I do love the playoffs in baseball. It's phenomenal. And I love this time. There's all these games and they're all best of 3s and they all really matter. So this is, it is amazing. There's always something on TV now, right? This is the glorious time of year, isn't it? We got the hockey, we got the baseball, we got the NBA coming up soon. It's fun.
Who's
fun if I didn't have sports in my life, I don't know. I'd probably jump off a bridge. I'd have nothing.
Who is winning the World Series?
I don't know. No one is yet. They haven't announced that matchup yet.
When it gets there, out of the teams that have made it through the 17,000 game schedule, I mean, now we're down to the handful. Hey, who do you like?
Oh, Jeb. Oh, Jeb.
Come on.
Who do I like?
I've adopted the Padres as my playoff.
I'll tell you who I
Padres guy,
like.
yeah.
The Padres? Well, no, they're a bunch of cheaters. Well, Tatis is a cheater. I love, like, every time you get caught, it's the same. Oh, no, it was an accident. No, I just got a massage. Or no, I didn't do it. Of course you did. You cheated, you got caught. It's fascinating how his numbers were down this year. I wonder how that happened. Who do I pick? The Phillies. I love the Phillies because they can hit through up and down that lineup. They've got Nola, they got Wheeler, they got really good pitching, got a decent bullpen. And I feel like this is the Phillies' year. And I'm not betting against guys like Harper and Schwarber. I mean, they're just, and the team's got this personality. Even if they don't win the World Series, it's going to be a lot of fun to watch in the World Series. And in the American League, oh, boy, I don't know. Who do you think? I mean,
oh, I feel like it's just going to be the Yankees. Yeah, but you're right. The pitching's a little weak.
Pitching's dicey. I do like the Orioles if they can get through this round. Orioles are a well-balanced team, but they don't have playoff experience, and that's the issue. So, or a lot of playoff experience. But I think it's a little more open. Dodgers, I don't know. I know the Dodgers have had issues with their arms.
Well, they've got some injuries with their rotation, right? So,
yeah. No, yeah. So, but hey, whatever happens, Jeb, I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
All right, buddy. We'll talk to you later, man.
I love you guys more than Tim Waltz, who is so much fun to watch on TV because, man, he was lost the entire time. Shout out to Tim.
See you later. There you go. It's Eric Macramalla. Like somebody saying, he's like an old-timey play-by-play guy holding the mic. You know,
exactly.
Dick Vinarette.
Yeah.
That's a Dick Vinarette.
Vince McMahon.
You know, somebody told me, so Cuthbert's like my hero. And somebody told me Cuthbert, as he's calling a hockey game, like, because it's a headset, and then you have the mic, like that comes down here. He holds like the mouthpiece like the entire time. I gotta look at this. Next time he's in town calling a hockey game, I have to sneak down to the booth.
Shelter it a bit, or
I don't know. I guess he just, that's wild to me to call a hockey game the entire time, like holding the mic like this.
Wouldn't mind too, like moving forward, we name an award after Macramalla. The Eric Macramalla Award for Outstanding Achievement in the Field of whatever.
What about the Eric Macramalla Award for biggest snub of the Estes every year?
Yeah,
there's a snub award at the Estes.
I think you can turn something good out of this, right?
You could maybe do something like that. But I did. You saw it. I put him in the Google Doc.
But if you name it, then he's involved every year regardless. I mean, even if he doesn't even,
Man, have any of you guys used Google Docs? This is extremely convenient. Hey, like I didn't realize this. We started recently using it around here at EST.
Shared document.
And shared document. So it's there, and then I can go in and update it, or Trev could update it, or you could update it. It's very, very simple. I really like it.
It's the liners, the live reads.
The live reads are in there.
Yeah,
it's really organized here. Pretty excited about the future of the company with Google Docs now at our disposal.
The audio's going.
Oh yeah, everything's firing on all cylinders today.
Changing 200.
Changing 200. Can we change 300? Are you not excited for the regular season that begins in exactly 1 week?
Oh. Wyshynski returns. He's picking the Oilers.
Well,
easily get the 300.
It'll be interesting. Does Wyshynski go back with the Oilers again as a Stanley Cup pick? We'll find out in about 30 to 35 minutes. Coming up in hour number 3, once again, pretty jam-packed. We've got kind of easy trivia. We got 3 questions too many. We got That Hurts for James H. Brown. Little Oilers back-end discussion to get to there. Greg Wyshynski's going to pop by just after 8:30. We'll be talking length of preseason. We'll be talking Board of Governors. We'll be talking Swayman. We'll be talking Edmonton Oilers winning the Stanley Cup. And Lieutenant Eric's weekly rankings of power still to come as well, plus the wrap for William Huff. So, busy third hour. That'll lead into the hangout today, where that'll be your next chance to qualify for the EST Flyaway to LA, NBA, NHL, NFL games. Next chance to qualify on the hangout today. If you'd like to play kind of easy trivia right now, gift certificate up for grabs. Mr. Mike's Steakhouse Casual. If you'd like to play, text Trev right now, 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999 is where you can get in on kind of easy trivia today if you want to win a gift certificate to Mr. Mike's. 780-218-9999. This is a good one from The General today. It says, my ex-wife suggested using a Google Doc to keep track of our son's hockey equipment inventory. I politely declined. Yeah, but if you didn't, would she still be your current wife as opposed to your ex-wife? Do relationships end over people using Google Docs or not?
The pros, an interesting subject matter to use it for as well with the hockey equipment. But I mean, you could do it for anything, really.
You can do a lot of stuff with Google Docs, apparently. It's really neat.
We're just scratching the surface here.
Getting to the surface. And they probably have a thing, Google Excel. Maybe that's a thing. Nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
Let's get to an update for Clayburn Services. If you're looking for work, man, what do we need to tell you? Clayburn Services. They are hiring right now. Take your career to the next level with Clayburn Services. Eric's got more on that with an update. If you want to play kind of easy trivia, 780-218-9999. 3 questions too many. That hurts. Wyshynski, weekly rankings, all on the way in the next 60 minutes.
Oilers preseason continuing tonight out in Seattle. You can join Tom Gazzola at 7 o'clock here on Edmonton Sports Talk for the GCL Diesel pregame show. Also on the iHeart and TuneIn radio apps and on YouTube. The club reducing training camp roster by 6 yesterday. Phil Kemp, Ben Gleason, Colin Delia, and Lane Peterson all placed on waivers for purpose of assignment, while James Hamlin was loaned back to Bakersfield and Bo Akey loaned back to the Barrie Colts. Darnell Nurse has been cleared to play as well. Some news and notes from yesterday. Lots of injuries continuing to pile up. Sharks rookie Macklin Celebrini left the Sharks Utah game with a lower body injury. Artemi Panarin also leaving the Rangers Devils contest with an LBI. Brady Tkachuk and Tim Stützle both sustaining upper body injuries midway through the second period in the Sens' win over Montreal. Patrick Laine, though, was announced yesterday he will not require surgery as he'll be out 2 to 3 months with a sprain to his left knee. The Edmonton Oil Kings hit the road for a pair this weekend. They're in Brandon Friday night and Saturday night in Regina. AJHL action last night. Calgary doubling up Drumheller 4-2. Just one game this evening as Lloyd will host Camrose. Major League Baseball playoff wild card series continue all throughout the afternoon and into the evening today. The Tigers over the Astros 3-1 yesterday. Game 2 will go 12:32 down in Houston this afternoon. Game 2 from Baltimore this afternoon between the Orioles and Royals, with the Royals holding a 1-0 series lead. Mets doubling up the Brewers yesterday, 8-4. Game 2 goes from Milwaukee, 5:38 this evening. And the nightcap will see the Padres hosting the Braves from San Diego at 6:38. Padres shutting out Atlanta 4-0 last night. Vegas Raiders wide receiver Devontae Adams has reportedly told the team he'd like to be traded. The NFL trade deadline will fall November 5th. You can join me at Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge tomorrow as we'll kick off Week 5 in the NFL when the Falcons host the Bucs. Smoked brisket cheesesteaks on special, and your next chance at an NFL jersey. Elks host the Riders Saturday at 5. You can join the EST crew down at the tailgate for the 2024 Elks Tailgate Chili Cook-Off. The Elks are 4 back of the Lions for 3rd in the West. Week 18 will kick off Friday from the Hammer when the Ticats host the Bombers. Take your career to the next level with Clayburn Services. They are hiring all positions, including journeyman bricklayers and apprentices of all levels. Take advantage of their outstanding mentorship program and work with peace of mind in knowing they are an industry leader in safety. For more, you can check out www.clayburnservices.com or make it easy and call Jeff 780-910-6728.
Browner? Do you want to score a goal, man? Come on, let's go and play. I never see you shoot the puck. You're out of luck. You should practice every day. You used to score like 20, and now you're not. I wish we could find out why. Do you want to score a goal, man? Doesn't need to be a hat trick.
I'm trying.
Tell me why.
8:06 on the Nielson Show. That's a song that turned around the season for Connor Brown last year from what we like to call the married couple.
And listener submitted. Yeah,
listener submitted tune.
Homemade.
That's terrific stuff right there. Trev, you want to throw us back on a normal shot? If you're listening on TuneIn or iHeart or at EdmontonSportsTalk.com, you can text us, Paris Jewelers Inbox. When are you going to win that A&W text of the day? We're coming at you the Popeyes Louisiana Kitchen studio today. If you've not yet tried the blackened chicken sandwich at Popeyes, you're not living your best life. It's as simple as that.
And talk on the Hangout yesterday, too, of maybe bringing back the flounder. Let's make that a thing.
Wow.
Give me that flounder sandwich.
They went there on the Hangout yesterday.
I just, people are talking. I say if there's demand, you got to meet that, right?
Very excited for the Hangout today. Mark Majot's in. I'm
just him.
I fanboy when
just
I see
him
Majot around.
reading graphic novels.
Yeah.
I take it. Give me 3 hours.
I love the MCTV podcast. It's my favorite thing. I'd be like, oh my God, it's Mark again from the MCTV podcast. Tell me about the Penguin. I haven't had a chance to watch the Penguin. I started watching the Penguin.
Yeah, I want to get on that.
When did I try to? Anyway, it was maybe it was Friday night. It was Friday night when I got home from the casino. I turned it on. I was in no shape to watch it.
Not
so I was
for the
like, I
first
should
one.
probably
Yeah.
go home.
Talk about getting a new character, though. Hey, wow, what a that looks like it's something.
The Penguin?
Well, yeah, the makeup, I guess, the diet, everything. Like
it's
he
gotta
had to
take a while. Yeah, he's fully invested. Yeah, I like Colin Farrell in what's the one with Edward Norton? It's on my phone. What's
The Score?
No, Pride and Glory. If you haven't seen Pride and Glory, good movie. John Voight's in it. Nielsen Show is brought to you by South Fort Chevrolet. Join us on Friday. Welcome to the Fort Oktoberfest celebration with EST and South Fort Chevrolet. We got your food. We got your drinks. We got giveaways, exclusive deals and sales throughout the day. Drive a little, save a lot. Make a plan. Pop on by and see us. Come on out. See Daniel and his family-friendly team at South Fort Chev. We'll be there. Tell them we sent you. And they'll give you $1,000 bonus credit on your trade-in vehicle. www.southfortchev.com. And the lederhosen, right? Isn't that what you wear for Oktoberfest?
You could, yeah. I mean,
I'm not going to, but
I have a hat. I can maybe.
Do you have a hat?
Yeah, I have a hat
Very
with
cool.
a feather in it. Yeah,
Really?
like an alpine type of.
Well, that's kind of neat. All right, Trev, who's playing kind of easy trivia today? Who do we got here, buddy?
Today, Brother Morgs is going to give it a go.
All right, Brother Morgs is going to play. I do have trivia set up again on my the new program over here. Let's see if it works today. Brother Morgs, what's going on, buddy? Trying to win that gift certificate to Mr. Mike's Steakhouse Casual. You ready to roll?
I'm trying.
Classic. Are you one of the married couple?
I am not.
Oh, okay.
Not anymore.
Would have been a win. Jeez, not anymore. Poor guy. Yeah. All right, Brother Morgs, here we go. I'll start the ticker after read the first question. Good luck, man. You need 3. Here we go. Which league's playoffs officially began yesterday?
Baseball.
Name one team in the baseball playoffs right now.
The Phillies.
Which baseball player created the 50-50 club this season?
I have no idea.
Who do the Oilers play tonight?
The Kraken.
What position does Travis Dermott play?
Sports scene.
And Sergio Ramos gets a nipple erection.
Oh, is that dirty?
This is not just a dream, it's a wet dream of orgasmic proportions.
Oh, is that dirty?
Frustration sets in and the emotion goes out, and then you just start playing by yourself.
Oh, is that dirty?
You cannot come to my house. No, not today.
You cannot come to my house. No, not today.
Clubby Loop, provided by Brother Morgs. A single man that's off to Mr. Mike's. Get that classic Mike burger for yourself, not have to share it with anybody.
Cares not about Shohei. Like just
does not care.
Never happened. Ohtani Jet, that was done.
Does not care about Shohei Ohtani. The general who said his ex-wife suggested, and then I was like, oh, did you guys break up over the... He replies and goes, in my experience, relationships end when a wife uses her maternity leave to meet strange men from the internet. Ugh, that hurts. Coming up at 8:20 today. We'll get to that hurts. Hang in there, the general. It wasn't meant to be. Things will be fine in the future. Greg Wyshynski, just after 8:30 today, weekly rankings of power with Lieutenant Eric still to come as well. And we're going to get to that hurts in about 10 minutes time. And we're going to focus on a move that was made yesterday by the Edmonton Oilers that has to hurt a little bit. We'll get into that.
It affects the weekly rankings of power.
Does it? Do you think so?
I think so.
And we must be on the same line here. Well, we haven't got to yet. We got to give this guy some love. Anyway, we'll get to that. But right now, let's dive into 3 questions too many today. Lieutenant Eric, do you have a liner for the segment?
Yes, I do. 3 questions too many, brought to you by the great staff at Park Mazda, where Mitch would also like to be in the running for an SD next year. Park Mazda, your dealer for life.
Well, let's start by presenting an SD Mitch. And a handsome man like him?
He should have been up there. I mean, one of the main near the end of the night, the main award. I mean, again,
too handsome.
You mentioned the looks. Too handsome.
He's too handsome.
Too handsome for that crowd.
Gazzola wouldn't allow it. Trev, aren't you working on an Estes video? How's that coming along? I know you were saying you were really loving it. What's the ETA on that?
The Friday. Friday is the ETA. Sorry, I extended the ETA.
You did. You moved the ETA on that one.
My apologies.
I'm excited to see it.
Yes.
How long is it going to be?
Like 2 minutes.
2 minutes. Nice
2 minutes.
tight SD video. Yeah.
Yeah. This is as far as like videos that I've done. Like this one is like. I get goosebumps.
What?
Yeah.
And, my goodness.
Yeah, like this one was it was actually beautiful. The footage that we got from the night was just awesome, and it's really cool, man. Like I can't wait for all the nasties and you guys to see this one.
Oh, man, I can't wait to see this. Well, can we debut
Friday
it on the
release?
show Friday?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it. I mean, we'll be out at Southport Chevrolet, but you'll be back here, and you can play it. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to ask that.
Yeah, no, you and
So
Zach
I'm
have
here.
to be back here because we're going to stream from here. We're just going to send it back from there. Yeah,
that is okay.
Yeah. All right. Do you have a Twitter account, Eric? What's happening on social media?
I do. It's
today?
at Lieutenant_Eric. You can follow on Twitter if you like, and give the station a follow as well at YEG Sports Talk. And since we're on the topic as well, at Southport Chev. Is
Yeah,
the
give them
Southport
give them a follow.
Chevrolet presenting sponsor as well. So give them a follow as well, and all the information you need to know about Friday's events. Give that a retweet here too. Why not here?
I was looking at the 2025 Estes Google Doc that's up right now. Two nominees already in there for Controversy of the Year. Dusty helps YouTube Trev beat Jay to 1,000 followers on Twitter. And then Chipgate. Someone eats 2 bags of chips and attempts to hide it. Have we got to the bottom of Chipgate around here?
I don't think we have.
Did we figure out
No,
who ate those chips?
I wasn't even here.
Those were tailgate chips.
This is news to me. That's the first time I've heard
I think you were on vacation when this happened.
Yeah, he was.
Wait a second.
Think
That's
so.
exactly what somebody would say if they were guilty of Chipgate.
No, you were
No,
gone. I was at home.
This is actually, I have no idea.
I had no idea what it was.
Me either. It's the first I've heard of it.
Sounds like something Maddie's concocted in that brain of his.
Maybe Maddie did it.
He's all thought this up. It's all, shall we say, conspiracy.
They didn't do a good job hiding it. Weren't the bags of chips like just jammed into the couch over here?
I think so.
I
That's
still
what
think
I heard.
Gazzola.
It's got to be Tommy.
Probably. I mean, it's probably.
He thinks his handsomeness will help him get away with stuff,
Take
right?
the night out. Needed a little
Who are we
bite
kidding?
in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Question number 1. Guys, with all the injuries around the league, why would the Oilers give McDavid another preseason game at all?
Because he's a gamer.
It's a good question.
Well, he
I know he
told
said he
them.
wants a
told
full
them.
group together. I get it.
He runs the shop here. It's not the coach making the decision.
I'd be Trev, would you not just be like, sorry, dude, you're not playing till the regular season? Like Connor
what I'd
McDavid,
say.
Connor McDavid doesn't need the reps.
No.
This would be an absolute disaster for everyone involved. If something happens to Connor McDavid as he's flying in over the blue line and some guy who probably shouldn't even be in the league at some point accidentally, because he's going so fast, clips him. And you're like, oh, wow, preseason reps. Awesome.
Yeah, like seeing the stars go down, like that's why you're watching, people tune in to watch Connor. People tune in to watch Leon. Line it, it was going to be exciting to see what he was going to do in Montreal. And that sucks. Macklin Celebrini. Like we're seeing all these stars go down, and that's why people tune in during the regular season. So yeah, I'm not for this. If I was the bench boss, I'd be like, nope, you're not playing tonight.
Any other bench boss, but not the one that they brought in that coached him. And I mean,
you're always taking a little bit of a risk. I mean, let's just hope he comes out of it fine. That's all you can do. I mean, what are you supposed to say? Connor McDavid wants to play. Connor McDavid plays, but man, there's just no reason for it.
Nope.
There's no reason for it. It's not like they're trying. I could maybe see it. I could maybe see it if you're like, who's going to play on his wing to start the year? But it's going to be Nuge and Hyman. Like, there's no reason for those guys to play anymore. They're going to pick it up next Wednesday against the Jets and be just fine. The Draisaitl thing, trying to find some chemistry with Arvidsson and Skinner, I got more time for that conversation. But I don't see why Connor McDavid should take the ice again in the preseason. Rob from the Grove says, if McDavid doesn't play, who's going to tell him to dig in?
Great point.
He gets so pop down into the room after 20 and be like, hey, boys, time to dig in here. Let's go. Question number 2. Well, this is a great question. Which CFL player would excel the most in the NFL if given a true fair shot playing as much down there as they do up here?
This is Nathan Rourke? Isn't that the...
No, I don't know. I don't
Given
necessarily
a true
know.
fair shot.
I don't know. I think some other guys might too.
No, I know. But
If you would have told me like Reggie Begelton.
Sure.
Reggie Begelton went down to Green Bay for a bit and just never
Mark
really
and
got
Michelle
a
was
look
down
at him.
there, right?
A bunch of these guys have been.
Yeah.
I honestly think Reggie Begelton would be a great possession receiver.
Austin Mack.
In the slot in the National Football League. Yeah, I still need to see more from Austin Mack. You know, I know he had great rookie year here, then went down and came
Went
back.
down.
I want to see a little bit more.
Willie Jefferson is a running back.
Willie Jefferson is a defensive end with his size.
He is like a CFL. Like,
yeah,
he is true CFL. The sleekness on the line doesn't have to be 400 pounds, right? Chad Kelly.
No, I think I'm going to stick with Reggie Begelton. Kenny Lawler is pretty ridiculous. I mean, that guy makes some phenomenal catches. Kenny Lawler given a legitimate shot down south, I think he could have an impact. If he played him as like a wide receiver 1 or 2 for the entire season, I think Kenny Lawler put up some numbers. Who else jumps off the page? I like Keon Hatcher. He's been banged up a bit this year.
Yeah, I mean, they've all had a bit of a glance or a cup of tea, shall we say, in certain circles.
I just like to see them go, hey, man, you put up 1,200 yards in CFL this year, you're a wide receiver
You're
too.
looking for somebody
Let's see
else.
how it goes. I'd like to see
somebody who hasn't
how
gotten
it would go.
Yeah.
You know? I think Begelton's a stud, so I'd probably go Begelton. Question number 3. Guys, it's National Name Your Car Day. Have you named a car in the past, and what was that car named?
Yes, I used to have a Buick Century, and I called it White Fang.
White Fang.
And it got stolen twice, and
White Fang got stolen twice?
No longer with us. But that's okay. It was great. It was great in the winter, you know, like a real strong engine. Good for a nice filled ashtray all the time. And
White Fang is a great
the ashtrays in the back seat, you know, you could, lots of ashtrays, lots of options to ash in that puppy. Cassette player. What more do you need?
Well, exactly.
Power windows too, which is a nice
power windows in this with like that little like silver
wood paneling, and the silver buttons, and lots of roadies with that thing.
That's pretty good.
This is an actual thing. Why is this a thing?
I don't know, man. Everything's a thing.
National Name Your Car Day. Well,
everything's a thing.
I'd like to give a shout out to my first car. I named it the Dingmobile because
the Dingmobile.
It was involved in 3 or 4. I lost count. Hit and runs, and it sucked.
Are you serious?
I broke my ankle one winter, and my car just sat out front all winter.
Getting dinged?
Yeah, because when I was good to drive again, I looked. It was in 2 hit and runs. The front left and then the back left were just hit. So that was annoying, and then it was involved in like several like just crazy hailstorms. So it was just like, it was so dinged up. So I called it the Dingmobile, and treated me nice for 7 years. I still miss that car. So shout out the Dingmobile.
A few rolling in over the nasty chat. Sarah says, my Beetle's name is Scarlett. Foisey says, I just named all my cars after the Simpsons women. So the blue truck was Marge. My Pontiac was Patty.
A fleet, eh? I like that.
Yeah. Redbeard says, I had a Mercury Sable. Obviously named it Sable. Plus seats. It was like driving a sofa. Bought it for $500, sold it for $500. God, Sable, what a ride.
That bench seating is always nice, with the airplane seat belts.
I had my first 2 vehicles were Ford Tauruses. And myself and all my buddies just referred to that car as the Taurus. It was just like, we're hopping in the Taurus? Yeah, we're hopping. It was just like,
is that the edition where the front looked like the back?
Yeah. No, it was, close.
Yeah.
It wasn't that one. But I mean, I liked the old 1990s Ford Taurus.
Strong cars.
I rolled a 90, I think I rolled like a 93 for a while and then a 99.
For Canadian prairie living in the winters, like you wouldn't get...
Taurus was unreal.
You'd go through stuff.
That stuff, I put that Taurus through and it just kept going. Like, just kept going. One time, there was no oil in it at all. It was all out. There was nothing.
This texter says, Ford Maverick, pile of shit.
Yeah, geez Louise.
That's the name for that one. Please attach your names to these texts.
So see, that's why it's a thing, Trev. Because I don't know why today would be the day. What's today's date? I don't know why
October 2.
I don't know why October 2nd is National Name That Car Day, but yeah. Peter says, guys, I loved my Ford Taurus. Yeah, anybody who had a Taurus, I think you really liked it. I had a Ford Taurus, like the one I had, only my door would open. None of the other doors would open unless you did it from the inside.
I think that was a feature.
Yeah.
I think that was.
It says nobody else could get in. I'd have to get in and open up all the doors for everybody. God, that was a lot of fun. Buckaroo says, I have a black truck right now named Betty. Fergie's prostate. I had a 59 Beetle, called it Gretel.
Black Betty, hey? Yeah. Yeah, Tempo. You ever driving one of those Tempos? My buddy was driving his mom's car, but called it the Hempo. Connect the dots.
That ties in nicely. Stormy says, I had a Mercury hatchback and the CU was missing in Mercury, so I just called it Murray. That's a good one as well. These are all good. This is why they're today.
There's always a story attached or something.
Yeah, El Presidente says,
it,
guys, I had a water truck that I had for hauling. I called it White Lightning. That's nice too. Dudley says, my car is a Mitsubishi Lancer. I call it Mitzi Lane. Guys, my parents had a Taurus, but my wife's parents had a Taurus and it was a stick. What? I refuse to believe it.
No way.
A standard Taurus? Come on. No way.
Popping into 4x?
There's no way that Tauruses had a stick. I refuse to believe that. Anyway, fun conversation. But let's get back to what really matters, and that's the Edmonton Oilers. That's 3 questions too many for the great staff of Park Mazda. Let's dive into That Hurts right now. Presented to you by James H. Brown, the heavy hitters of injury law. If you've been injured in an accident, you go to jameshbrown.com. They're on board with our show. Studio sponsor on the Reed Wilkins show as well. They got some segments on the Green and Gold kickoff show as well. So great partnership that we've got brewing here with James H. Brown. And there are our neighbors at the tailgate. Here's what hurts. I made this where you're going with your weekly rankings a little bit later on. But Ben Gleason. Like, for me, if you're Ben Gleason this morning, you've got to be like, what the hell, man?
Well,
like, you come in, you put together 2 great preseasons, you get cut and sent back down to Baco, and you're looking at Josh Brown, who you clearly outplayed in camp and in the preseason games you got. You're looking at that guy still on the team. Not only on the team, he's still skating next to Kulak. Stetcher and Dermott are the 4th pair right now. You're Gleason. You're going, what? Like, how does that not hurt that guy? That's got to... And I get it. You're still getting paid to play pro hockey. You'll probably get a shot with the Oilers at some point this year due to an injury popping up somewhere along the way. But that's still got to hurt when you know you're better than at least one of the defensemen, if not maybe more, that are still in camp and you've been sent back down.
Tango in the nasty chat says Ben Gleason should ask for a trade.
Can you imagine? And you know what? I'd fully support the move.
Absolutely.
Yeah, people would be like, oh, you don't want to be a part of this? You can leave, whatever. I'd be like, good for you, man. I
remember yesterday, I think we start talking the Josh Brown favorability, so when he does get waived, somebody gets the claim. Like, it'd be a big mistake to...
Wow.
The old...
Josh Brown stayed on the team longer than Ben Gleason. We better claim him when he gets sent down.
Yeah, well...
I would eat my shoe if Josh Brown gets put on waivers and claimed by somebody else with a 3-year deal sitting there. I couldn't imagine. I couldn't imagine. And Trev says he'd eat my other shoe.
Jeez.
So it's a 2-shoe eating party if he goes on waivers and gets claimed by somebody. So yeah, I know. I think right, that hurts.
It does hurt. We will try to make this better though during the weekly rankings. We'll try to. Maybe this could be something here moving forward that you take a investment in. I've said too much.
RCN, great text, RCN. There's 3 million reasons for Josh Brown to be here. Signed, Cam Neely. That's pretty good today, buddy. There's a lot of good Macramalla intros today. It's tough to steal a text of the day on a Macramalla intro day, but that's pretty good. That's pretty good. I like that one. But no, I think it's got to suck a little bit. Now, if you're Gleason, you got to go down. You got to reset. You got to play well in the American Hockey League. But this is back to back. Now, last year's blue line, we can talk about last year's blue line versus this year's blue line. I thought last year's blue line was a little bit better. This year's blue line, there's jobs up for grabs. You have a good preseason, and it still doesn't matter. So I don't know. I think it hurts. It would hurt me. I'd be pissed.
It's hurt you already, and you're not even getting sent down.
It's hurt me. I don't even care. I don't even know the guy. It hurts me, the situation. Trev, what do you want to say here? You look like you want to get in on this.
Yeah, like I'm trying to make sense of it, and it just doesn't really make any sense. Like, I don't know what Knobloch or, whoever made the decision is telling him. Like, unfortunately, some other guys have played better. Like, because I don't think that's the case, like, at all. So I don't know what he said. Like, go down and work on a few things. This is probably as good as Ben Gleason's ever going to be. And, albeit it's not crazy good, but he's way better than Josh Brown. So I don't know what the conversation was had. Like, I don't know. I don't get it. It does hurt. And, that's got to suck because he scored a goal. Like, he looked good. And he's like, probably, like, this is, maybe this is the year I can, finally make a name for myself. And he must be proud of what he's been able to, do this so far this preseason. And he doesn't get that hurts.
I wonder if when they send him down, he goes to them and goes, but why is that guy still here?
Yeah, I'd say that.
I don't think he would. I don't think that's not how hockey. Well, maybe. I mean, depends on the type of guy. But I'd love to have the question to be like, well, how come I'm getting sent down and that guy's still here?
Yeah, Lars says Brown must have pictures. Maybe that's the.
I don't know. I think they just think they need a guy who can fight sometimes because I don't see what else he brings to the table. And I know some people who might be paid by the team and they're in the media might be trying to be like, oh no, they got to have that. It's wrong. They don't need that guy. We talked about it on Two Guys on Goal yesterday. In order to be physical, you have to be able to arrive on time. And you're going to watch, and there's going to be a lot of times this year where the small guy gets into the corner and grabs a puck before Brown even gets there to be physical with him. So I don't know, man. Outside of fighting somebody, I'm not sure what he brings to the group. So I could see why Gleason would be a little hurt. He should be. So yeah, that hurts for James H. Brown. And we had a 6-minute conversation on Gleason getting sent down.
Roll on regular season, hey?
Buckaroo says, Mac T said it recently to Tommy, if there's a tie, the win goes to the guy with the contract. Yeah, but Gleason's under contract. And Brown's contract can be buried. So that's a Dermott conversation. If Travis Dermott, and I still think he looks better than Brown too. I mean, I don't understand how you can watch preseason and sit there and go, okay, well, they don't need to give Dermott an actual contract, release him from his PTO, send Gleason down. Brown's the guy. And I don't know how watching so far, Stetcher's not with Kulak and Brown's not on the fourth pair. I don't know. It's something's not adding up around here, and that hurts for Ben Gleason. (780-218-9999). If you're watching over on YouTube today, hammer the thumbs up. We love it. Hop on for a sub as well. That would be great. And you can text us, of course. Tune in, iHeart, EvanstonSportsTalk.com. That is where you can get in today as well. And just send the link to EST to some of your buddies on a text, and it'd be great. Brelando says, guys, I'd rather Gleason play in the minors and sit and do nothing as a seventh. That's fine for the fan base to, if you want to view it that way. But where do you think Gleason would rather be at this stage of his career? Would he rather be like a number 7 in the National Hockey League, living that lifestyle, or once again stuck in the American League behind defensemen that you're better than playing up here? I don't know.
That hurts.
That hurts. James H. Brown. All right, on the way. We got the sports update coming up with Lieutenant Eric. Greg Wyshynski, I believe, is going to pop by. Lieutenant Eric's weekly rankings and power. We got the wrap. More of your text messages still to come. That'll lead into the hangout today with Mark Majot in the house for the hangout today, which is always exciting. Good to see Majot slide in top. He's a Jets fan. He's also a big baseball fan, though, so he's probably enjoying that as a Yankees fan.
Yankee, yeah.
Probably likes what he's...
Him and Iwanek will be
gross.
Slathering it up.
Well, yesterday, we were sitting around here, and Reed Wilkins seemed like an anti-Derek Jeter guy, referred to him as overrated, and Iwanek's just standing at the door of his office. He goes, why don't you come into the hangout tomorrow around 10 o'clock and say that?
Oh, boy.
And I was just like... I looked at him, and I didn't even know yet. I said, Majot's in, isn't he? And Maddie's like, yes, he is. So a couple of Yankees fans on the hangout today.
Those Bronx boys.
I love the Bronx boys. All right, let's get to an update for Sit and Sleep. If you're looking for something to sit on or sleep on or possibly do both on, Sit and Sleep has you covered. Eric's got more on that after the update. Greg Wyshynski, will he pick the Oilers to win the Cup once again? Find out in less than 5 minutes.
Oilers' quest for the Cup continues tonight in preseason play. They'll visit the Kraken. The club reducing the training camp roster by 6 yesterday. Phil Kemp, Ben Gleason, Colin Delia, and Lane Peterson all placed on waivers for purpose of assignment. James Hamblin loaned back to Bakersfield, and Bo Akey loaned to Barrie. Tom Gazzola will get you set this evening on the GCL Diesel pregame show. It comes your way at 7 o'clock here at Edmonton Sports Talk, the iHeart and TuneIn radio apps, and as well on YouTube. Regular season puck drop 1 week from tonight at home to the Winnipeg Jets. Handful of injuries last night. Sharks rookie Macklin Celebrini exited a game with a lower body injury. Artemi Panarin also suffering a lower body injury in the Rangers-Devils contest. Brady Tkachuk and Tim Stützle both sustaining upper body injuries midway through the second period of the Sens win over Montreal. Some good news, Patrick Laine will not require surgery. He's expected to miss 2 to 3 months with a sprain to his left knee. Oil Kings in action over the weekend. They'll be in Brandon Friday night and Saturday night in Regina. AJHL action tonight, just the one game. Lloydminster hosts Camrose. Last night it was Calgary doubling up Drumheller 4-2. Major League Baseball wild card playoffs continue today and into the evening at 12:32 down in Houston. It's the Tigers with a 1-0 series lead over the Astros. Royals take a 1-0 lead into Game 2 in Baltimore with the Orioles at 2:38. Game 2 from Milwaukee at 5:38 as the Mets doubled up the Brewers yesterday 8-4, and the Padres last night shutting out the Braves 4-0. Game 2 tonight from San Diego. First pitch 6:38. Raiders wide receiver Devontae Adams has reportedly told the team he'd like to be dealt. The NFL trade deadline will fall November 5th. You can join me tomorrow night to kick off Week 5 when the Falcons host the Buccaneers from the Century Casino Sports Bar Lounge. Smoked brisket cheesesteaks on special, and your next chance at some NFL merch. Elks and Riders Saturday at 5. Join the AST crew live at the tailgate for the 2024 Elks Tailgate Chili Cook-Off. Elks are 4 back of the Lions for 3rd in the West. Week 18 kicks off Friday from Hamilton between the Ticats and Bombers. The wait is over. Sit and Sleep is now open. Celebrate with 20,000 square feet of savings on the trendiest furniture, home decor, and mattresses. Apply for your Sit and Sleep card today to make no payment for 18 months interest-free and be entered to win your purchase up to $5,000 on furniture and home decor next to Planet Fitness in South Edmonton Common.
What say you? Hey, nasty crew. We got the Nielson Show flu, and there's nothing we can do about it. What say you? Hey, nasty crew. My wife thinks I got better things to do, but there's nothing I can do about it. We're tuning in on TuneIn, we're listening online. We catch up with the podcast when we fall behind. We're texting in the nasty chat, what's on our mind. 780-218-9999. No more interference from corporate interest. Just Dusty and Eric and all of the bad cats like Wyshynski and Noodles. Captain can gauge it. Maybe just bump it a cool bed to make a little wager. We can't wait for the Monday mandate. Sharky's always on time. Tommy's always late.
Would you like a cup of tea?
Forget about the old place. Hey, we were number 1 in the text race. We don't miss all the commercial breaks, but we sure miss Nickelback today. We wanna hear some Huntix and we wanna hear Renee. Why not hold the neck up when I wanna kiss away? Be left to tie a fire and remember that name. We love every goal song, but what about the games? Macramalla, Rapaport, Dragger, Engineer. It ain't Christmas season, but they sound like reindeer. Button and my cousin and the tales of the North. All about the human person, Dusty go forth. What say you? AM Nasty crew. We got the Nielson Show flu, and there's nothing we can do about it. And there's nothing we can do about it. And there's nothing we can do about it.
8:35 on the Nielson Show. Thank you very much for being here today. Nielson Show presented to you by Southport Chevrolet. We are going to be out there from 6 in the morning until 6 in the afternoon on Friday, taking the entire station on the road to Southport Chevrolet, www.southportchev.com. Drive a little, save a lot, food, drinks, giveaways, Oktoberfest celebrations all day long. It's going to be a real nice time. Lieutenant Eric's weekly rankings of power still to come today. We got the wrap for William Huff still on the way as well. We were talking about a couple of Yankees fans who are going to be on the hangout today. We got a Mets fan just waiting in the bullpen right now. He's going to slide in here. What a life Greg Wyshynski is living as a fan of the New York Mets. Greg, what's it always been like being a fan of, the other guys in New York?
Well, that's the beauty of being a Mets fan, is that we are the other guys. We'll never be the Yankees. We're never catching up to the number of World Series they've won. We're never going to be able to go back in time and have like Mantle and Gehrig on our roster. But as I've been trying to tell people during this season in particular, when the Mets are good, and when there's a little bit of that weird magic that happens when the Mets are good, they kind of take over the town. Like no one in this town can even tell me what happened in any Yankee game this year, but they could certainly tell me what happened in the doubleheader on Monday. They can certainly tell me about the winning streak after Grimace throughout the first pitch at Citi Field. They can certainly tell me that the Hawk 2 girl throughout the first pitch before a game. Like, they could tell me all this stuff about the Mets, because when the Mets are good, it becomes a Mets town. Whether it's the miracle of 69, whether it's the Amazons in 86, and now you're seeing it now where the Yankee fans care about the Yankees. No one else cares about the Yankees. It's all about the magic that's happening in Flushing right now.
So I'm going to say, you can have your Garricks, you can have your Garricks and your Ruths, Grimace and Mr. Met. I mean, that's a team I like to get behind.
That's what I'm talking about. I mean, like, when we win, and I use we in the sense that I'm a Mets fan, much in the sense I, say we when it's the Olympics, and I'm talking about the U.S. It just becomes magic. It just becomes an obsession. It becomes something larger than the National League, American League rivalry in this city. And, maybe it's my own coping mechanism as a Mets fan, knowing that we can never be the Yankees. But I truly believe that the difference between these teams is that, the Mets are like a cicada returning every few years to be successful. And when they do, it just becomes obsession. Like, you're never going to see a picture of the Yankee dugout with Aaron Judge holding a giant necklace that says OMG. You're just not. Because that's not who the Yankees are, but that's exactly who the Mets are.
Operating on different levels. I absolutely love it. Greg Wyshynski with us from ESPN. Greg, I saw it in the chat already. We had some people text in. Can you please ask Wyshynski why he started these Seth Jones Edmonton rumors? What did you do, man? Like, I didn't even see this. What did you do?
It was in bold predictions. I said that Seth Jones would be traded this year by the Blackhawks because of the cap rising, because there's a year less on his contract now as time goes by, and because teams obviously are very much still in the market for first pairing defensemen who can play 23, 24 minutes a night and that are in a certain age range, and Jones fits that bill. And I think the outlandishness of his contract kind of subsides a little bit as the salary cap keeps increasing, which Gary Bettman indicated it'll continue to do next year up to at least $92.5 million, and then maybe beyond that, because that was a very conservative estimate. I mentioned the Oilers because if they ever wanted to get the Nurse contract off their books, that's an easy flippy with the Blackhawks as far as the money and the term goes, and then they end up getting a younger defenseman out of the deal. And then obviously, the guy who signed Seth Jones to that contract, I don't know if you noticed, is now running the Oilers.
That's a good point.
So, there is a certain affinity with that player in that general manager's past. Did I say they were trading for him? No. Did I say there had been talks to acquire Seth Jones? No. Was it aggregated by some random hockey Twitter feed that I had said that? It was. So to calm everybody's fears, I don't have any inside information about the Seth Jones trade to the Oilers. It was something that was in a bold predictions column, which is an opinion column, and it somehow got turned into something else. It felt like Friedman. I felt like when Friedman goes on the radio and then he gets mad at the aggregators about taking his words out of context.
Oh, it happens all the time.
I don't get to being Elliot Friedman.
Getting clipped like this. You know what we're going to take what you just said and cut it down to you being like, Oilers, trade, Jones. And we're just going to put that out. That's it. That's the only thing that's going to happen. Hey, a Board of Governors, you mentioned the salary cap. Anything else on the Board of Governors that jumped off the page for you?
Yeah, I mean, the big headline, at least from our ESPN coverage last night, was that they are going to open up collective bargaining with the players after the first of the year. Gary Bettman and Bill Daly have both been really sounding an optimistic tone heading into these negotiations in ways that you don't normally hear them do. This is Marty Walsh's first negotiation as executive director of the NHLPA. He's currently touring all 32 locker rooms to see what the players want, what they feel needs to be in the next agreement. And we'll see where it goes from there. So that was the big headline, is that with the CBA expiring after the 25-26 season, the talks are going to start and hopefully continue in a good positive direction. The other big takeaway is that they're clearly, one of the things they're going to talk about in the CBA is cutting down the exhibition season and adding games to the regular season. I reported 2 years ago that there was a groundswell within the Board of Governors to add 2 games to the schedule to go to 84 games. Mainly because they didn't feel like they were getting enough rivalry games out of the current schedule, which obviously is the lifeblood for a lot of these teams. So the idea that we cut down the preseason, expand the regular season, I think is very much on the table. Personally, I'm not exactly for it. I think it's kind of nonsensical that, Gary Bettman's drawn a line in the sand about expanding the playoffs, which is when people really care about hockey. And yet we're going to expand the part of the season that most fans are just like, it's too long anyway. So it doesn't really compute for me, but it does compute in the sense of there are only, a handful of teams that benefit from further playoff expansion, while everybody would financially benefit from 2 more, games on the schedule.
What's when you end up running the league, Greg? What would you do with that whole schedule? I mean, preseason, regular, and playoffs. How would you kind of, drum all that up and everybody making money and succeeding in the end?
I think 82 is fine, to be honest with you. I mean, I wish we could shift the timing of the schedule a little bit to maybe start the season maybe a little bit earlier. I know that the apprehension is that you don't want to start it when you're going to get steamrolled by the NFL, but that happens anay. It happens definitely in October, where you're getting steamrolled by the NFL and Major League Baseball now, as that's back on the upswing. No pun intended. But I think the bigger problem for hockey is that you're ending your postseason at a time when everybody's thinking about the beach, and like that's kind of an issue when you're an ice sport. So that's always been my issue, is like I would start the regular season earlier, end it earlier, but I would definitely expand the playoffs. And I've wrote about this a number of times on ESPN, the idea that you could easily do a 7 versus 10, 8 versus 9 play-in series. And then the winners of those advance to the traditional 16-team tournament. And now you're not messing with perfection, but you are inviting more people to the party and creating more revenue, which is, again, something all of the other major professional sports leagues have done in the last 10 years, and the NHL has refused to.
Greg Wyshynski with us from ESPN. Greg, we were talking about earlier today. You picked the Oilers to win the Cup. What was it? Just last year? It was 2 years in a row, wasn't it? Are you making it 3 years in a row here? What's the official prediction? Oh, who are you going with then?
I think it's interesting that everybody's focused on the Oilers being the bridesmaid from the Western Conference, which ignores that there is another bridesmaid in the Western Conference. She's not the maid of honor, but she's definitely a bridesmaid, and that's the Dallas Stars. I think the Stars are a really interesting team in the sense that they have that sort of perfect parfait of talent distribution. You've got your guys that are sort of veteran names, your Duchesnes, your Sagans, your Bens. You have this just collection of guys in their prime, Jason Robertson and Mira Heiskanen, Jake Ottinger. And now you've got this next wave of, your Logan Stankovens and your Wyatt Johnstons and your Maverick Borks that are coming up behind those guys. I think it's a great mix of players. I think they've clearly been right on the precipice of breaking through for 2 consecutive seasons. And I think this could be the year Dallas breaks through. I really do think that, that Oilers series last year, they were severely impacted by Joe Pavelski being cooked. It was like watching, Joe Biden try to get through a debate with watching Joe Pavelski try to get through that series. So now they've got Wyatt Johnston up between Robertson and Hintz. That line is going to be as potent as it was when Pavelski was in his prime. So I'm picking Dallas, which is good news for the Oilers because I picked them twice in a row.
I was going to say,
the win this time, yeah.
You could easily say you just jinxed them the last couple of years, so we don't have to worry about it this year. Well, there we go. That's excellent. Greg, good chatting with you again, man. We'll do it again next week as we kick off the NHL regular season here in Edmonton with the Oilers and the Jets.
You got it, boys. Am I in that song you played, by the way? Is my name checked on that song?
Geez, you know what? You were.
I was?
Oh, yeah. I'm pretty sure you're in there. Sure. It's what is it? Lists off Macramalla.
He's in. Yeah, I can hear it. I can hear it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're in there, buddy.
I'm really, that's exciting because I was listening to the song before I came on. I'm like, it's impossible to, not only rhyme Wyshynski, but also figure out a way to shoehorn Wyshynski into any kind of lyrical, measure. So I'm impressed.
You've made it, man. You've made it. That's the big moment there.
Thanks, Greg.
Big moment. We'll catch up next week, buddy. And good luck with the Mets. There you go. That's Greg Wyshynski, Mets fan. Interesting how he laid that out in the city.
It's
the Yankees are always.
You have your have your fan base there, but the Mets too. I can't help but. And then we were talking earlier. If you don't have a team, most of us are Jays or whatever the case is. But when I see a team like the Mets in there or whomever that don't get, I'm like, yeah, I'll get on this train. Why not? It's fun. And then again, the Grimace stuff, the Hawk too. It's just
there's a lot of fun stuff going on with the Mets right now. Yeah,
I love it.
It's like when people go to New York City. They're like, hey, we should take in a baseball game. You go see the Yankees.
It's top
go
of
see
mind.
the Yankees, right? It's almost like the Mets are the local team, kind of, and the Yankees are the national.
Seinfeld,
team.
Jerry, wasn't he a Met guy?
Was Jerry was a Met
and Jerry
guy.
liked the Mets. And then George got the job, and
Yankees.
Jerry liked it. Meet the Mets. Meet the Mets. Come on up. Like he worked for the
George
Yankees.
worked for the Yankees.
Yeah, but he also got that Mets. He interviewed for a Mets job.
Did he?
Like yeah.
But he never got the Mets job.
Yeah. It was a girlfriend's
He interviewed
dad
for the
that-
Mets.
Yeah. or
Was that the
something,
one where he interviewed for the Mets job, and then his boss bailed and went over to?
I think that's maybe what it was.
To be like the assistant general manager of the Mets.
I think it was one episode. Yeah, where he was.
I think that's what
and
it
he
was.
busted into Jerry's meet the, and he did the whole song and
he thought he was going to get it, but then his boss at the Yankees. Remember, he was trying to get fired so he could go over the Yankees, and then he was about to get fired, and his boss went and said, "It's on me." And he's like, "Don't worry about it, George. I just got the assistant general manager job with the Mets." Pretty sure that's what it was. I think that's what that episode was. Man, what a show!
Wilhelm.
Yeah,
Was it
Wilhelm?
I think it was Wilhelm.
Classic move. John T. Victoria confirms. He goes, Greg is in fact in there. Yeah. I thought off my head. Macramalla, Wyshynski.
Easier to use a Greg than a Wyshynski, but no, that's poetry, baby. Wyshynski noodles, and both back on the show today. Library Pat says.
Perfect. What a day. What a day. All right, let's get into the weekly rankings of Power. Power. Brought to you by The Ranch. Closing soon, but still snag a tea time if you can.
Some great
With
temperatures
the Merman
and conditions,
out of the ranch. Yeah, throw on a toque, get some morning golfing. Not too bad. All right, what are we ranking today, buddy?
Well, I promised it would factor into your Ben Gleason discussion, and it does. And a lot of this, I actually woke up in the middle of the night. Much like Jerry Seinfeld in the comedy. He wakes up, he's got the notepad there. I woke up in the middle of the night, and all of these lyrics came to me. I've got a few ideas and some songs. There's some new Oilers.
Oh, really?
And you can call them goal songs. You can call them, sent down songs. You can call them whatever songs you want. But just a few Oilers. It's not like a top 10. It's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You got 6.
Yeah, you got 6.
You got 6. And I'm not the full song. I've just got a few verses, a few lines that people would be familiar with. And then you could, I'll sell
a new
it to you
season
for
is just around the
fee.
corner.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, number 6.
Victor Arvidsson to the tune of Gimme, Gimme, Gimme by ABBA. So it's Victor, Victor, Victor. His last name is Arvidsson. Second line with Draisaitl and don't call him Fast. Because they used to have Victor Fast.
Victor Fast. Okay, yeah.
Lopetide could never say that name, but
that
and then you go on from there. That's
it was
just
like Foth. Glad that guy didn't stick.
Yeah.
All right, number 5.
Jeff Skinner to the tune of Don't Stop Believin' by Journey.
Okay.
Just a fast, lonely boy living in a top 6 void. He took a playoff train going nowhere, right? Because he hasn't
been in the playoffs.
He was a hurricane. Then came Buffalo Pain. He took a 1-year deal to play in Edmonton. And then you can go on and on and on. And yeah.
Skinner. Yeah.
You can fill in the blanks.
All right. You know what? I don't mind that one. Yeah. Okay. Let's. All right. Number 4.
Vasily Podkolzin to Aaliyah's Try Again. So if at first you don't succeed, dust yourself off and try again. Be a fourth liner in Edmonton.
I don't even know the original.
Oh, man. Okay, well, we'll have to take that to the...
Aaliyah. Is that a modern day song or back in the day?
It was a 2000s...
man.
Early aughts
I remember that one.
R&B track.
All right, number 3.
Ty Emerson to the tune of Soundgarden's Black Hole Sun.
Amber Sun.
Well, in our eyes, you're a 4, but you've got a decent war. But your pace and your face makes you an analytical whore. Amber Sun, won't you come and help out on the PK? Amber Sun, won't you come and win a cup? And then you can scream like, Amber Sun,
won't you come?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, that's not bad. I think I like the Skinner one, but that's not bad. Number 2.
Josh Brown to the tune of Down by Stone Temple Pilots. 3-year deal, $1 million AV. 6'5", and you can't play. And then it goes to the chorus. Yeah, we've been waiting for Josh Brown to get sent down. If you know it, translates a bit better.
Imagine
I know you're not like
spending production money on a Josh Brown get sent down song.
Yeah, I am for it. That's why it's number 2 in the list.
All right, and number 1.
Ben Gleason, the Zombies' Time of the Season. It is time you play Gleason and let him play up high. It's the time of the season where Gleason shines to let you know he really wants to help your diminished D. He really wants to help his team to victory. It's the time for Ben Gleason season. You know.
Oh, now I get it. I didn't know the song until you hit it at the end.
Yeah.
No, I get it. Well, that's good ideas, buddy.
All available if you'd choose, but I think the Josh Brown one specifically would be. Imagine having a Get Sent Down song, hey?
That would be Ember Sun. Well, I don't mind like that one. That one kind of sticks in my head.
The cadence works.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
all right. Some good ideas.
Yeah, Cam says that Aaliyah song was a banger.
Man,
You'd know it if you hear it. You would know it. You just bring it up.
What's it called again? Let's see here. Let me bring up my. Say it again. What's how do you spell Aaliyah?
Aaliyah, and it should probably be the first. It was a big hit.
Okay, Aaliyah, are you that somebody?
Try again.
All right, here we go. Let's see.
It goes on, yeah.
Oh yeah, I know that one. Try again. Yeah. Okay, yeah, that was a big song.
Be the fourth line in Edmonton.
Yeah.
Edmonton.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, no.
Just the chorus. It'd be really cheap.
Guess I didn't know that was Aaliyah, but I know the song now. Yeah. All right, that's pretty good.
Job well done, LT. Those were all very good.
Thank you, Trev.
Yeah, real nice work. All right, let's get to the wrap for William Huff. If you want your place to look as good as our place, well then, boom. Get it done. Bruce and the Dream Team. And William Huff, they've been doing it since 1972. 52. I still say 72 sometimes. They've been doing it since 1952. WilliamHuff.com. When you have a business that's ran very well for that long and can even make McMahon kind of look good, you know they're good at what they do. William Huff. All right, what did we learn on the show today, Trev? You learn anything on the show today, buddy? What do you got?
I learned the curse is lifted, and the Edmonton Oilers will win the cup this year because Greg Wyshynski does not have them winning it. So he has the Dallas Stars. That's what I learned.
Oh,
that's a good pick. It's a good pick.
Oh, it is. Yeah. That's a good learn. Dallas is a good pick.
Yeah. But yeah. The Stars are good.
Yeah,
really good team.
They're going to be a little bit of an issue. What'd you learn today?
Brad was tuning in from Cefalù, Italy.
I saw that
Sicily, looking for Gazzola's family, albeit I told him not to say your name too loud. He might get some unneeded attention.
That one has definitely not been...
Sicily. That's Gene territory, yeah.
That one has definitely not been mapped yet.
No, we'll get on there. There's been a few.
Cefalù.
There's been some
Cefalù, Italy.
Exotic locales in the past couple of days.
That's very cool. Anyway, thanks for checking out. I think that was a listener from Whistler who was in Italy and was still listening to the show very conveniently.
Brad.
On TuneIn or iHeart or at EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
Good evening to you.
That's very good.
Or afternoon or whatever.
All right, let's get to your sound of the day today. Oh boy, I played some Sergio Dip. We might as well go back. Hey, there he is. Let's go. Sergio Dip. Where is that guy? I said I reloaded this today. Here he is. Having the time of his life.
It's a pleasure to be with you guys here on the field from up close, just watching Coach Vance Joseph. From here, you watch him now on the screen. This diversity in his background is helping him a lot tonight. Quarterback at Colorado, defensive back in the NFL, and here he is having the time of his life.
Which tied in nicely to the Paris Jewelers inbox while the LA keyword was announced.
Oh, yeah, definitely. The inbox, while hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of you were texting in for the keyword.
And here he is having the time of his life.
How about me with all of my audio working again properly?
And here he is having the time of his life.
The touch screen is
real nice.
I'll go with.
Sarah says, man, living the dream, living in Whistler and visiting Italy. It's true. And listening to us? Yeah. While he's there? That works out pretty well. All right, let's get to your text of the day today. Macramalla intros aplenty. Trying to get your hands on a gift certificate to A&W, where they have collabed with Ruffles, the best thing since Josh Clausen and Ice Cube. It's a Ruffles Crunch Team Burger, your favorite team burger and your favorite Ruffles cheddar and sour cream chips combined into one unique, glorious taste sensation. One of a kind, ridges and crunch. You can't go wrong. You can also try the Ruffles Crunch Buddy Burger, which is just $4.99. Try one at your neighborhood A&W. Here are your options. I think I know where we're going. Is it not the new shoe one? The new shoe one was pretty good.
I like the wandering around the golf course one.
Yeah, that one was good
Found
too.
it.
That was good one too. So we got two options: EST legal analyst and guy who always says, "I bet you can run super fast in those." Every time he sees one of his staff in new shoes, or EST legal analyst and guy who likes to go for naked walks in the woods. Only problem is he defines the bushes next to the golf course as the woods. YouTube Trev, I'm on the shoes. He's on the woods. You're the deciding vote for text of the day today. Just so you know, it's come down to two brothers, Vance Van Vandervan and Tommy Rubella.
Oh, gosh. Okay, well, they're both tremendous texts. I cackled more at the shoe one.
Okay, well, there it is.
Shoe one.
There it is. Lock it in. Throw it in the file, Rick.
Get it in.
EST legal analyst and guy who always says, I bet you can run super fast in those every time he sees one of his staff members with new shoes. Eric Macramalla. Congratulations, Tommy Rubella. You won text of the day. Take your brother for a little treat to A&W, eh?
Well, you might as well now.
Ruffle Crunch Burgers.
They both win.
And then Lady in the Tramp, those things around the arm like this. Oh, no, that's not Lady in the Tramp. Lady in the Tramp was sucking up spaghetti together. All right. We got the hangout coming up. Mark Peugeot's in the house. Tommy Gazzola's here. Matthew Wanek is here. They will have another chance for you to qualify for the EST Flyaway to LA. Be ready. Be ready to get those texts in. It's all brought to you by 780. If you haven't checked them out yet, great swag, great local swag. They're at Southgate, Londonderry, Kingsway, St. Albert, and the Outlet Mall out by the airport. And, of course, on their website, that's the word 780.com. 780.com is where you can check them out. Hangout's going to be good today. Looking forward to it. I'll be back with the Lock Shop at 11 today. We got the oil stream today from noon until 1. EST afternoons. Another chance to qualify for the EST Flyway on EST afternoons with Hernan Salas and Joaquin Gage from 1 to 3. And then the Reed Wilkins Show, which I am telling you, if you've not yet checked out the Reed Wilkins Show, you are missing out. I think it's the best show in the city. I'm including ours in that conversation. I think it's phenomenal. If you haven't checked,
old Wyshynski,
if you haven't checked out the Reed Wilkins Show just yet, you should. Every day from 3 to 6 on YouTube, on TuneIn, on iHeart, and at EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Fabulous show with Reed and the glue guy, Jay Milne. That's going to do it for us today. For YouTube Trev and Lieutenant Eric, I am Dustin Nielsen. Thank you very much for being here. I'll talk to you in the Lock Shop. Have a great day. Take it easy.